Okay, my people, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you find yourself in the world. We don't come back again. This is not Fatima. We don't come back again to Una with another edition of Social Media Review. And today, the 10th of February, 2021, and we get Bokutin for talk bots, okay? We get Bokutin for talk concerning waiting the role in social media right now. The loudest noise on social media right now, now the whistleblower, Mr. Chernor, where he gets a lot of alarming accusations against we First Lady, Madam Fatima Bio, in way where it is spend money and it is spend the government money. I get with me none other than Mr. Shilon when I'm a co-host. I get me producer and another co-host, Mr. Kutubu Kuroma. I also get two guests with me because we decide to bring two people and come on the opposite side, the two biggest party them, where they are the thing, the governing party, which is the SLPP, and the APC, which is the biggest opposition. So I get with me Mr. Emmanuel Ali. Mr. Emmanuel Ali was a former chairman for the Northern America SLPP union, and also he is a very active member now SLPP. He is with us, joining us instead of Kangi in views and in take and how we see what's in the go on again for Kandi. And I get the opposition with us again, Mr. Fode Morris. Instead the past administration, it was very inside the administration. I guess he worked for the administration in a young capacity. So I bring himself Kanaya for now we can talk on waiting they happen and waiting they not accused with First Lady of. But before we come Padande, I will bring them in, let them tell una adu. Let me get it, me guess then tell una adu and tell una small team about themselves. But until all time we know say before we begin anything, we get for tell God thank you. We get for tell the Almighty God, because this pandemic and the things that when they happen at the world, we are the lucky ones. We sit on the like today. We not sick, we not die, we did at this world. God give we another chance for fix what is guys and for complete with purpose. And we are here as Sierra Leoneans to speak on behalf of Sierra Leone. We all view not get for be the same. This is one thing we get for know. Everybody sees it different. Potato. Everybody see them. But one thing what we they do na VOS and what we they try for maintain a VOS, we they try for respect everybody in view. So we get for open the phone lines to conversation and the VOS viewers. And VOS viewers, you are the voice of Sierra Leone. Without you, we no go deny. But we want at the same time, if we give we comments, let we not use obscenity, let we not call people they out of the name, let we speak on the issues and let we call them like we see them. How you see it not mean say you wrong. That is your view, your opinion, how you see it. Okay, we are trying to understand why you think like that. If you think opposite from me, this is why we are here. And these are people, honorable men and women of Sierra Leone, where they left them busy schedule for come, for end aid, for how we go push Salongo before. We all not go agree, but guess what? We go talk on SALONE issues, and this where we sit on here, and I go speak for me and me co-host them. It is a nationalistic approach with the tribe for go. So opposition get for day, opposition get for oppose, but let we oppose respectfully. So without any further ado, I give me guess them. May I go first with Mr. Morris, Mr. Fode Morris, because now in you now, Mr. Emmanuel, not that I put you, they say save the band for last, but not that I put you like, but you now one of we now we regular now for kind of talk about your party and talk about the good things of what your party they do. So I really appreciate you for come. But Mr. Fode Morris, just give us a quick tell the people they are doing, give us a quick tell me what you said small bit and tell me what you did for.
Salone Fambulem, on a do, on a kusha, on a cabo, whoever on a day, and friends of Sierra Leone, for take this opportunity to for tell the host of this program very thank you, plenty thank you, and for tell on the viewers where they make the program go before, because now when they watch, they make it continue. On all thank you. Me in a lifelong born blue-blooded, red-blooded, whatever you want to call me, a member of the APC party. I served na the public relations team na the previous government of Dr. Ernest Bai Koroma. I find that necessary to finally mindful to chime in now, because maybe give this current government 2 years. Now then they do almost 3 years. I just feel say appropriate for where they come and discuss respectfully with the one that we in governance, and we all with the opposition, including members of other political parties. I'm happy to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. Emmanuel, you get the floor, sir. Mr. Emmanuel Ali,
Yes.
to you.
Yes, ma. You there, hear me?
Yes.
You there, hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I say thanks again to the host of this program and the proprietors of VOS and the listeners of VOS and me fellow guest on the show. I don't there before. The only, I think, correction for make on me, the role I've played, I don't play in SLPP, is that I was the former Secretary General of the party going into 2018 when we defeated the defunct and corrupt All People's Congress Party, and the people rejected them. And I think the government today and the people are in agreement that our country is making significant progress, building foundations again that had been eroded by the once again corrupt and defunct APC party. And we believe it's important for them to engage the people of Sierra Leone so they can facilitate the process of good citizenship in understanding how government works and their role in participating in government, and also in debunking the enemies of the state and the propagandists who would dare to embrace the progress of the people in place of selfish individual interest with propaganda stories about the government.
Thank you so much for that introduction. Mr. Kutubu and Mr. Shilon, and I just want to say hi quick to the people.
Go ahead, Mr. Kutubu.
Well, as usual, I mean, Kutubu don't need any introduction. We get the program, so only that in and out I will come. Thanks again to the VS then. And today we hope say una will actually get a very lively and interesting and talk about all program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Shilon, sir, to you.
Yeah. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everybody, wherever you're in at the world. This is now Mr. Shilon. And I thank you very much for listening again today, as usual. Time is precious, so we know say among the many things almost every one of us could be doing, we choose for either participate in this program or listening to this program. Whatever your role will be, listening or participating, we thank you very much. And we hope we are familiar with the view now or the idea behind it. Now for land for agree in a disrespectful or disagree in a respectful way. We're not get for curse each other. We all get different take on what's good for SALONE. Let's be mindful of each other's view and be respectful of each other's view, and just conduct yourself in a civilized way. So thank you very much all for listening. I hope by the end of the show everybody will enjoy them, and thank you very much in advance for whatever contribution you may make. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Shilon. But before we begin the conversation, I'll talk brief about this coronavirus. Coronavirus day in the world, it's a pandemic. It's a virus. We don't destroy the world economy. It don't destroy, it don't kill people. Them millions of people, they don't die all over the world. And SALONE not an exception. SALONE, we in a small country, but God don't bless we, where we not get that kind devastating effect of this coronavirus, even though every life we lost, the 79 people that we don't die now, now somebody mama, now somebody papa, now somebody sister, brother, family. So we're not glad if our world die, but we tell we then die, but we tell God thank you. Rampant like a rampant and then say all this. So because if that day happen, guess what? Boku damage go be, you know. So we tell God thank you for that. That's why we dey listen to NACOVAC, we dey advise you now for listen to what NACOVAC don't put in place. NACOVAC say let we dey wash we hand according to World Health Organization, let we wear mask, especially the mask, because what in do we not able for keep that social distance, because why they talk so boku pits they fly na me mouth, it go na your face, it go inside your nose, you breathe that in, it cause complication, and the worst thing where they cause na death. Some people they don't come out of farm, but beaucoup people they don't die from this disease. Vaccine don't come, but the vaccine not to 100%. So the disease is still there, and this is our new normal. Let we they wear mask, they get out, let they wear una don't hear waiting, they don't say una let we abide by them from the top down. We don't all that they say the one themselves where they lead, they know they set the good example, and we hear where the NACOVAC leader say he say he don't talk to the all, he don't tell the all, then get for the way. Even though some people still not they abide by the thing, but it better salon people they don't begin wear mask, and we for continue for wear the mask because corona is real, corona they kill, and corona they na salon, regardless of whatever people and they say na manipulation, na lie, na this and that, but we convince say corona then a salon because as sabi people that we don't die of corona, real corona inside salon. So let we left down there, let we try for abide by down there, so let we save beaucoup people life. So today we come again them fine gentlemen here for there among me, you know, then they say I be feel say I'm not going to even come on camera because I get my glasses ready because the light when I see them, if I wear them, when I not vex too much, because the lights na me eye, I get Apollo waiting then called pink eye in America. So do you people that wanna go beer with me? But one thing today, America, we therefore make it for done because they man here, they all day in America, and we get the Super Bowl 55 today. When America big sport, we they call them the football. Not of foot, then they kick with them on a throw, then they throw. Not of we soccer, waiting they call American football 55 today, and we get two teams, them the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Kansas City Chiefs. So may the best team win. Me know they for no team, me na New York Giants or either you know, who again I can support something and they but you know, may the best man win, we say good luck to them, and we they hurry up follow finish, so we all go watch the Super Bowl na America today. So the talk will bring come with we first lady. But Mr. Chernor is an investigative journalist who reside right now in America. He is a PhD student. He don't there for a long time. He say he don't write. If he don't begin from Tijan Kabalet's President Tijan Kabal time to now, and he pull out an article where he don't begin with series of articles them where he don't put out there for the public, and this is a conversation we are forced to have. This conversation we must have this conversation because there is a lot of implication, there is a lot of things there where it don't put there, where it don't show the way whether they spend salon money the wrong way. And we all know say when this administration come, President BOA administration, it come with the thing say corruption, we must fight corruption, it is a fight that we must fight. According to the words, it is a fight that we must win. And it come out of the gate shouting and screaming and yelling for all the world to see. Say the APCs are anyampi. The APC, they don't take away money. Salon not get money and all these other things. But there is this gentleman, and I set the stage before I bring the people in. There is this gentleman, Chernor, where them been there, APC been there in power, the previous administration. He claims say now they all in President beyond the people that were in the administration now they all they sit down together for talk but waiting they happen and the thing that whether they do we not right and where President Bill go inside out and go fix out and go change. They all been get the same idea for say we want the change the country they go in the wrong direction. President Bill sell a message to the people of Sierra Leone people and buy a message. Now this man sit down at the sideline. He say for 2 years plus, it they watch, it they see, it they say what in do them people here know they do what in they don't say. He say according to Chernor, he don't write letter, he don't put half incident in Facebook page, he don't even send to the administration, the president and the administration say this is what you're doing. They call them out. They say, "I they do this, I go do this." He tell them before he do one. He say, and he not see no change. So he continue for print in paper them. Now he count with the first one, and one of the thing that way he count with now the office of the first lady. He say in the office of the first lady, it is not a government entity, it is not a government office, but inside the consolidated fund. And he say that consolidated fund, they would make them say President Bio say make it executive order say all money where the government together. Now that fund they any good because what you do economists then they say it good for get one pot, one purse. Let all things then at the one purse so una go able balance and una go able control wasteful spending. But as according to Chernor, they claim now say this one pot here was not for that intention, but it was a facade, it was a manipulation for how they would take this money for squander SALONE money, for take for their own personal use and their own personal thing there. And one of the things that way it called because the office of the first lady are independent and private in other parts of the government, but it say money be they go there. It get dates them, it get year. It gets amounts them almost money they go inside them then here. So now that we can't talk about today. And I get with Mr. Emmanuel and also Mr. Fode Morris because Mr. Emmanuel I give you the first thing because you don't hear you waiting Chernor don't say and then we get interview them. We get interview with the BBC where come out with Dendezia with Umar Fofana interview both Mr. Chernor and the first lady. And the first lady, where this printout come out, he make an audio. He come out on Facebook Live and he talk say this man Chernor they look for job because President Bionogi and job now he make so they come after him. He also come back say him host the first ladies of all the West Africa where invite about 6 first lady them and all the entourage when about 30 something people them with this money also. But this man they say not so private business why they forgive government money for make Fatima Bio do all what he do so. And he also said they go now Lebanon then do this that the thing them Boku we all don't see him. But let we bring Mr. Emmanuel, then I go bring Mr. Fode for what I don't lay for so. Then we go play the audio of the interview, then we go continue the conversation. So Mr. Ali, you don't hear this first time where I don't explain some of the team them where they inside waiting this man pulled. Because this is the wiki leak of Sierra Leone. Now I don't cancel and we all get for talk about that. So I'll give you the opportunity, sir. May you defend waiting Mr. Chernor or defend the office of the First Lady?
Well, I am not here to necessarily be the legal advocate for the First Lady or not the government, but I think we will correct the statement from Fatima. This is not WikiLeaks. This is propaganda and misinformation at its best. You know, I am reminded of the music of Lord Lara in the 70s, Jamaican artist who argued that foreigners were always quick to pick on the islanders and blow things out of proportion and always fail for tell the good stories about the island. I think that was an internationally acclaimed song, The Foreign Press. Those of us, we will be the camouflage. We We cherish the lyrics, the reggae vibes, and the social commentary of that song, and we embraced it, some of us who were radical progressives. You see, this bar fellow in the Africanist have not done Sierra Leone any good, have not done himself good. It's really a very simple propaganda and misinformation for defense. I recall the Auditor General in report for 2019-2020 was out. Everybody thought this was the gospel audit of the country. Not once did anyone say anything about the office of the First Lady. If in fact the Auditor General is the master of audit of financial, if not one way for examining the Public Expenditure and Financial Accountability Act of 2016. And by those acts, he makes sure say he present to the people of Sierra Leone an external audit, independent audit of the accounting of the country, did not once implicate the First Lady. I don't know who this Africanist tabloid individual clown, in my opinion, is. Again, it's just my opinion, because anyone who would put the interest, who would succumb or subvert the interest of the state for his own personal fame, for me is a clown. So that, without due respect, that is the perspective in which I call him a clown. Because number two, I don't know if Sierra Leoneans understand this. We have what we call the Auditor General and also the Accountant General, sorry. Also, the Accountant General is a semi-independent body where they examine the books of the country, the expenditures of the country, all ministries them. And in fact, by law, once the fiscal year ends, he's required to submit his financial statement audit to the Auditor General, and the Auditor General also looks at those books and then comes to the public and review that with the, release that to the Parliament. I mean, we've gone through this process and we've seen how all of that played out. If we are referring or referencing the authority of audit in Sierra Leone, I think it kind of speaks to our intelligence that we are relying to the sensationalization of an individual who, in my opinion, is a reject, political reject. As are we going to look at him as the authority in the audit of the country, or shall we rely on the Auditor General and the Accountant General? That is my opening, and I'll let you guys respond to that.
Okay, Mr. Fode Morris. You know, Mr. Emmanuel say he's a political reject and he is a propagandist, and it's just like it try for, because the audit or Auditor General report not say anything about the First Lady in office, but this man, they maliciously, I mean, this is my words, I'm just paraphrasing what he say, understanding say they maliciously for try for bring the name of this administration down. What do you say to that as an opposition, Mr.
Thank you, and thanks to Mr. Emmanuel Ali for his comments. But me take exception for refer to as Mr. Chernor as a reject or a propagandist. Mr. Chernor is one of the most patriotic and strict and effective journalists in SALONE history. But couldn't they get a kind name there, but them few. And also, because I've been there at the receiving end of Mr. Chernor, when mighty All People's Congress be in power, Mr. Chernor published boku article and critical of within the former government of His Excellency President Hannes Baikoma bin they do. I mean, specifically, he writes one book on Ebola corruption. The good thing, though, the difference between we and the APC and the SLPP, we try for engage Mr. Chernor. We try for send documents into him, and we try for clarify certain things. So, you know, escalate now, where a senior member of the ruling party, they publicly insult a respected man with people they respect across the political divide. But again, that's how Mr. Emmanuel Ali wants to do things. If you insult the facts, That is what I want to say, people, my fellow Sierra Leoneans. We should not be surprised. Sierra Leoneans, everywhere we do, we're not for surprise. We, Africa, and I'm going continental now, Africa, if you have something wrong with we, like we get swear, I mean, including here, we see somebody, they get a terrible record. Because now we tribesmen, because now the same region we come out, we take the responsibility of a nation and put an head. Case in point, the current president, Julius Maada Bio, president of Sierra Leone, former, may his soul rest in peace, President Tijan Kaba. After we Tijan Kaba came to power in 1996, where they audit the country money, that the Maada Bio don't serve 3 months. 3 months. But Kaba say, His Excellency now, Maada Bio, before he left power, reluctantly, he emptied with national treasury. I'm not surprised. He left, he goes to say, go Ghana, so he come back Australia and America, yeah, that money don't batter. The same man, waited for over 2 decades. You have people like Emmanuel Aliyu and other SL people supporters who thought he is the best for our country. He tried 2012, they not get. He bulldozed away, kill supporters of the SLPP, beat other aspirants who want to be members, who want to lead the SLPP, the first political party in our country. To make peace from Aja, this man, Mama, a Kanye Nkela, just pull them, shoot people. This was real. I was in Freetown, I saw it, they were doing it. Until Maada Bio bulldozed away to become the SLPP flag bearer. We are not surprised. We should not be surprised. We should accept our stupidity. I mean it respectfully, not to data, but it is so annoying. For then we see someone like Maada Bio, when Ian Party, Tijan Kaba, say if he emptied the national treasury, he go into bogus contract in 1996 and beyond. In brother Steve Bio, he ordered fake rotten gunboat machine. He charged the country boku money. What he not pay? The evidence day. Lawyer Charles Francis Magai don't talk. Alfasa Lumangu don't talk. In fact, Alfasa Saidu was relentless in his messages about this man. This man we Sierra Leoneans take and make president. So I'm not surprised. We should not be surprised. This same man, now to the question about the first lady. Now this same man has an accomplice. His wife introduced this woman to be Sierra Leoneans, please, this is serious matters. This same man, President Julius Maada Bio, introduced a woman to we when in 2018 he said, "I wife they married." Few months later, let's have just a little over a year in government. They say they're not married, now they get married. 1 year they live in London, they say they're married, then come, there were photos of evidence of a traditional marriage, which is a marriage. Right? I'm landing. I'm coming to the point. Please, I'm landing. Now the only difference we make people like Emmanuel Aliyu, they can't tell you they tell so. Now Maada Bio get an accomplice. He gets a woman also who gets criminal record, the first lady. Articles upon articles there, where they don't publish. Now Gambia newspaper they move, not to Sierra Leone newspapers. Sunday, then they boku. I'll Google them now I get boku are safe. We Fatima Bio, the current first lady, we now the accomplice for empty national treasury. Be cook business. He get police case in Gambia. He take one with man money, he take that with anger and frustration. He shoot you as a record. So we are not surprised.
No, Mr.
So we are not surprised.
Yeah, no, we can't to the point. We're going too far off.
Please, we are not surprised. We should not be surprised. We have people like Mr. Emmanuel Aliyu insulting the whistleblower instead of saying, you know what? from a party in good name, from a party in better one. Make a look into the record that this man should give me authentic bank statement. Authentic bank statement. They don't question the authenticity of the bank statement. They insulting the individual, the whistleblower, the patriotic Sierra Leonean, who is non-partisan. Like I said, he started his work when Kian Kaba was in office. He continued to work as an Escoma's work, a term of office, and he's doing so now. And this same Emmanuel Aliu, including the President Julius Maada Bio, were sharing what Chernor was publishing against the APC over and over. He was their friend then. Now he's his nemesis. I'll take a break for now and chime in as the program goes.
Okay, there we go. Mr. Emmanuel, I will give you a chance for get back. But Mr. Kutubu, we don't read the two sides. Everybody don't present the argument on this case, because this is a case that is serious. This is an accusation because they say innocent until proven guilty. But according to Mr. Chernor, in an interview we do on Friday with VOS, he say, I sent it to them. They know it was what it is. I get all the evidence them. I get all the record. He said, this is not accusation. These are facts that they have the material. That was Mr. Baz thing where he say. So Mr. Kutubu, you don't read the two sides and you self see what thing they go on. What thing you go add for this, or what you go take away, or what thing you want put your own case across. Then we go come to Mr. Shilon. Then let we play the audio of the interview, please. Let we go to you, Professor Kutubu.
Thank you, and welcome to the two gentlemen and where they are. In a minute or so, I'm not sure I will wait for past 1 minute to give me your assessment of this. The collective tragedy we done before SALONE, we take the 9 with the go to. Immediately after independence, we did not happen. Concepts like nationalism, patriotism, don't be jettison aside. Waiting not happen, Masalo, the party and the leader them, that they don't take front and center stage in the politics at SALONE. If Adena Republican Party, na SALONE, everything where they need to do is okay. I don't care whether it go hurt the sovereign nation. If I did a Labour Party again at SALONE, everything where Labour Party do is okay. I don't care whether it is harm the country. Because the simple reason we don't so much transmogrify them, we lead us them. We don't elevate them to the status of demigods. So nobody is prepared. Nobody is prepared to take a step back. Say, wait a minute. The sovereign nation of SALONE, big past all of them here. Wait a minute. I'm going to look at this from a sovereign, from the perspective, say, SALONE big passes. Like I already talk. As far as me, your recollection of SALONE concerned, SALONE don't day from 1808. Where now me don't know what SALONE would have been colony of the crown today. As far as me concerned. But nobody not prepared for put green, white, and blue. For let me say, you know what, I operate from a green, white, and blue. It's either I will go from the solid green or I will sell from the solid red. Until we all decide we're able to muster the courage of conviction and fortitude, you know what? No matter what to do, no matter what we ideological leanings, green, white, and blue is always going to be, how they call it, foremost. We then, as a rapport, we did actually what happened on January 6th. We saw it happen. But what happened though? The people say, wait a minute. This now the sovereign nation of the United States, they under attack. It's not to a Republican business, not to a Democrat business. Now the country now they are. So we all will come together for see how we get ourselves out of this existential quagmire. So the bottom line of the argument is patriotism and nationalism, they don't go away. The party and the leaders say until we begin look at things and for the fact say, SALONE come first, and finally though, the tribalism again and the regionalism again, or also the factor in with political thinking or what the way they look at it. So all of these indices here, so we will remain. So it's going to be rancor, recrimination, the blame game, this game, and all that thing. So back to you guys. Back to you.
The chief reads, Ms. Fatima?
I don't know if you please, but back to you guys.
Okay, well, let me just make a few comments. Yeah.
Why you don't take up, Mr. Chernor?
Okay. Here is my take on it. I know we'll get two able people on behalf of the two major political parties who go argue their sides. I'm impressed with their opening statement, but I am looking at it strictly along the line where Mr. Kutubu the talk, because first and foremost, I'm a Sierra Leonean. It's irrelevant and immaterial to me whose part I come out, whose tribe I belong to. As a Sierra Leonean, I belong to the entire country. So with that in mind, what I have to say is very simple. Sierra Leone needs a Chernor, because we don't find that for, say, in modern day democracy, even though traditionally they don't teach we say that three arms of government exist, executive, parliament, or Congress, and the judiciary. For make a democracy work, we need a fourth arm, which in fact, in America today, if it wasn't for that fourth arm day, Donald Trump will have flipped this country over to whatever he wanted, and at the press. So I'm a great believer in the press, because I think it serves everyone's purpose. So I have made her read some of the articles that Mr. Chernor writes, without determining the credibility or lack thereof. As a lawyer, I like when somebody cites something. Mr. Chernor, they say the laws of Sierra Leone, according to the laws of Sierra Leone, the financial regulations, a non-state institution is not authorized to receive public funding. He may be right, he may not be right, but at least it cites a basis to raise certain issues. I think the other side can only say he's wrong in that citation there and cite another part that is contrary to what he cites. Because Mr. Barr goes further, he say the budgetary allocations were in violation of the financial laws of the country, and the utilization of the funds did not allow the finance regulations, especially the Public Finance Management Act. Is he right? Is he wrong? I don't know. But at least he cited, and you know, sometimes even as lawyers, you can cite authority that may turn out to be unsupportive of your position, but at least he's citing authority. Then we'll get a look at the credibility of the person with the article. So Mr. Barr, according to a level of writing, reminds me of me on days when I be younger, women and be political activists, when I was a teenager going to school in Bo. I had my heroes in people like Ibrahim Taki. And even in those days, you know, people like Sam Mesga. You had people who were astute and journalists who took opposing sides, but give people something to think about. So those were my heroes in those days. So Sierra Leone, regardless of how we might feel, we need a Chernor. I know they talk about a propagandist, talk about somebody who really is saying it like it is. Now, here is my take on the First Lady's issue. I personally believe that the First Lady should have a budget, because she is the public relation ambassador of the country to some extent. I am amazed that there is no budget set aside for Or if there is, I'm not aware of it, but I'm amazed that the first lady not go get the budget for make it do as he want, whatever he want. The amount at issue here is not, to me, it's not a large amount. I understand Mr. Chernor to be saying she has not followed regulation. I understand her to be saying I have no regulation to follow. When I need money in the interest of the country, I ask the State House appropriate money for me. That doesn't seem to be her fault. It just demonstrates the irresponsible behavior of a government, you know. But I think any lady, first lady should have a staff. First lady should have a budget for which to operate. Now, but the first lady doesn't serve herself well. When Indy go toe-to-toe with the journalists, first of all, I think it's unwise. She can never win that argument. Two, when they take opposing position, such as accusing Mr. Ba of wanting a job under a husband not getting a job, then that forces Mr. Ba for defending himself and say she's lying, and you don't want to, you know, because at the end of the day, whether I would like her or not, she's our first lady. So I don't think we need to be calling her a liar, a this, a criminal. It serves no useful purpose. But so she too holds that to herself to keep the discussion at a certain level. I think the first lady will be best served to stop being our own defender and get a press secretary through whom she can speak. But if she continues trying to go out there and take issue and go toe-to-toe, I think she demeans herself by doing that, in my view. So these are some of the things that I'm looking at it strictly from the national standpoint. I mean, as a Sierra Leonean, regardless of whether I support APC or SAPP, I wouldn't want my first lady to be subject to embarrassment or insult. So, but she owes it to herself and to the country to conduct herself in a respectful manner. I don't think taking public issue and accusing somebody of not being rejected by a husband because they want a job, true or false, but that serves no useful purpose.
Yeah.
So in my view,
Mr. Ba come out and say on Friday on VOS that he not ever meet Fatima Bio. He has never met Mrs. Bio. He and then they not ever see face to face. They not they not meet. And that kind of way Mrs. Bio they talk is just a distraction. But let we go to the interview. Then I will bring Mr. Ali in. Then Mr. Fode Morris. The interview that was done by Umar Fofana. Let you read the two sides. Then we get a quick audio where Mrs. Bio been explain say now impede the transportation of the people them we come and lodging and everything. But then una will listen for ourselves, listen waiting the talk go say.
This is Focus on Africa. I'm Audrey Brown. Stay with us for the rest of the hour. Sierra Leone's Fatima Mada Bio, she is the first lady and she's denied allegations that billions of leones, that is hundreds of thousands of US dollars, have been illegally used to furnish the office of the first lady. The allegations, which are made by the US-based organization Africanist Press, also say the same office received millions of dollars from the National Treasury, despite it not being a public office. Umar Fofana has been looking at the allegations.
I'm sitting in my car along the Freetown Peninsula. This is Bendembu Junction. Here, overlooking the Atlantic Ocean, is a three-story cream-colored building. On its gate is a palm print with the inscription, "Hands Off Our Girls." There are armed security personnel keeping guard outside the building. This is the office of the First Lady of Sierra Leone. Billions of leones, that is hundreds of thousands of US dollars, are alleged to have gone into furnishing the office of Fatima Mada Bio, as contained in the Africanist Press. The publication says the amount is part of millions of dollars from the Central Treasury that have gone into running an office which is not a public office and so cannot and should not be funded with taxpayers' money. Chernor is the editor-in-chief of the Africanist Press. He gave me the highlights of their reports via WhatsApp from the United States.
In the last 2.5 years of the administration, at least a total of $3 million of government funds were illegally disbursed to the office of the First Lady. We were able to see that, for example, in 2018, a total of $789,000 that were disbursed from the consolidated fund to the organization. We have spent in 6 months on furnishing the office of the First Lady on questions of electronic equipment, on fuel, travel tickets, and hotel accommodation costs for foreign guests of the president's wife. So according to the laws of Sierra Leone, the financial regulations, a non-state institution is not authorized to receive public funding.
But Fatima Bio has strenuously denied any wrongdoing.
You are in my office, and I don't think you can spend 700. I don't even know how much the money was that he was talking about. What I have here, I have a desk, I have a sofa chair for people to sit, and I have a conference table here. It's definitely not true.
Chernor has further alleged that money that should have gone into the fight against the widespread sexual abuse of girls went into ostentatiousness.
The public money that was given to the organization for the fight against rape and teenage pregnancy were mostly spent on personal shopping needs. But most importantly, both the disbursement, the budgetary allocations were in violation of the finance laws of the country, and the utilization of the funds, did not follow the finance regulations, especially the Public Finance Management Act.
The First Lady explained to us how she receives money for the running of her office.
As far as I know, every First Lady before me, when they want something, they go to State House and they write. The office of the First Lady is part and parcel of the presidency. So if you want a table, you write to the office of the president. They buy the table and they brings it. How it is sourced, who sourced it, how much was paid, that is not my own concern because they don't consult me on those things.
So the office did receive funding from the Consolidated Revenue Fund, but through the office of the president. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying my office writes to the office of the president. So where they got the money from, I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know where they took it from.
How about when you launched your Hands Off Our Girls campaign, which is to protect young girls against predatory men? You invited some West African First Ladies to attend. Did you pay for their flights and accommodation?
I paid for the accommodation. That is what happened to when I visit them. The President of the Republic of Sierra Leone puts together the Hands Off Our Girl campaign. I am the face of the project.
So you're sure that all the procurements that happened legally, procedurally?
Like I said, those are questions that only the office of the president can answer.
I contacted the office of the president through the head of communication, Dr. Patrick Mwana. He assured me that the information minister would talk. Following a meeting at State House, apparently on the interview request, Information Minister Mohamed Rahman Soare called me to say no one would take the interview. I contacted the head of the Anti-Corruption Commission, Francis Benkaifala, to know whether or not they had looked into the matter. Not yet, he said, adding, and I quote, "The office is captured under audit and will do her part as part of that review process."
Umaru Fofana reporting there.
Every First Lady start with Nigeria. Nigeria First Lady in budget now $12 million in budget. I don't know if you hear me, if you hear me fine. In budget now $12 million, Nigeria First Lady. Now come now every other country within the sub-region, every First Lady gets in personal budget. Personal. I don't know if you understand that word, the personal budget. Then get her. Close home here to Liberia. In budget now almost $2 million per year. 2 million. Now what is Fatima Madabio in budget? I believe say you go answer. So when you did write you rubbish, now for also say, this Fatima here is really under all odds with everything, she still work. Me without that budget, the money where you they talk about, where you they say I take I eat in 6 months, Mister, I not touch him. Me hand not touch him. Everybody in this country knows say I launched the Hands Off Our Girl campaign, and everybody in this country knows say I do waiting no other First Lady not able for do in this country, and that is bringing another First Lady into this country. I not bring one, but bring 6 other First Ladies within the sub-region. Bring 2 foreign ministry within the sub-region. Bring the head of the deputy head of ECOWAS, and bring the deputy head of the AU. In this in the whole of Africa, inside Sierra Leone, for come launch the Hands Off Our Girl campaign. Now, would you feel say go pay the bill?
When you want to let the world know who you are, when you want to let the world know what your country stand for, when you want to let the world know, say yes, you young government and the country where you dey under, the president where you dey under, that president he believe in gender equality. You have to do something for make the world know. So yes, I use that money towards that, because all them people then they were them for come to this country, now somebody get for foot them bill. Anytime another first lady invite me for go in country, now in they buy me ticket, now in they buy me PA in ticket, he buy me security then ticket, he buy me media people then ticket, now then can buy them ticket. So when then they come to me, the same thing applies. I buy them ticket, and when they come, now me they host them, now me call them na me country, I get for pay them hotel bill. So just in case, if you don't know, now that one day, I had over 32 guests within the sub-region we come for the Hands Off Our Girls campaign. We come for can lunch and for me. And they all be supposed for fly can Sierra Leone. They know the waka. Not to say that they just come out in the room, then waka go, they reach na Sierra Leone. Now plane get for bring them can. So I have to pay their airfare. And when you come up and down one day, when they reach now your country, now you get for feed them. Now you get for put them in a hotel. Who that they do that one day? Also if it's a the puller. Now the state get for pay for them, because the president say we get for do whatever it take for make sure say the equality that Sierra Leone deserves, Sierra Leone gets. And if I use my platform as the first lady, I use it wisely to bring the attention to the world. I bring Sierra Leone and the world in attention. Now, I don't bring Sierra Leone. From the United Nations, everybody in the United Nations knows Sierra Leone today, and they know Hands Off Our Girl. So if we not be spend that money there, tell me, Mr. Chernor, you that know everything, tell me how they will know what will they do in this country. Today, Sierra Leone is one of the best countries where the world they make us an example today. You know why? Because we are transparent, and because we come out and let the world know, say, this government is a different kind of government. And the reason why the president empower the first lady, just because you don't know, but Mr. Ba, now because we president believe in equality, gender equality. He not believe say in where for day na kitchen go sit on day, where in where to get so much that he can offer.
Okay. We don't hear enough of that. We don't hear enough of the first lady. But we hear the interview. The interview say now him pay for them people then for come. He pay airfare, he pay lodging. Then now with Umar Fofana on the world stage of BBC, he say no, he not pay for the people now accommodation no more. He pay for, and they talk of a using platform. And this one, the thing Mr. Ba talks about, say, he said this organization where President, the First Lady begin, it was a private business. But now, the First Lady is linking it to the office of the President. He said, in no side of the pullman, where he wants something, he writes there, the first, and at the mad President Bio, na in campaign down there, in project down there, in just the face of Hands Off Our Girls, not on your work. But before, if we don't tell, we say, in baby down there, na in work down there, na in signature, everything down there, na in the run with influence them and people them. Then sorry at organization where they give money. Now we don't hear he say that the president in campaign and na in at the face of the president. So which one we for believe? Because it is very contradicting here. So Mr. Emmanuel, since you there as SLPP, and in your opinion, because it look like say now Fatima don't throw the first lady don't throw the president under the bus. So would you say that the president go to the president when I don't ask me, I don't know who side money come out, then just give a right, then give me the money. So what do you say about that, sir?
Well, thank you, Fatima. Let me just make an observation. I think say the co-host, Mr. Shillon, should minimize the editorial commentaries and present the commentaries in the form of questions, just like you have done. Because there's some level of bias if you have the podium as a co-host to freely editorialize without supporting that with a question. So I'm just advising in respect as far as respect for the guest, we present our commentaries in the form of a question, as Fatima did, instead of the opinion commentaries, which, I mean, in my opinion, adds to the argument of the other side. But having said that, I think, Mr. Shillon said Sierra Leone needs more Chernor, whatever his name is, or Africanist. Americans, the right-wing Americans can say America need more Sean Hannity, America need more Lou Dobbs, America need more Pat O'Reilly. We know these people are propagandists. We know they're responsible for where America is today. America doesn't need them. Let me tell the audience who America needs. Correction, who Sierra Leone needs. Sierra Leone does not need a propagandist. Sierra Leone does not need somebody who would peddle lies. In fact, in all of his report, he has not indicted the First Lady. He has not indicted the government. He has not stated a single crime that anyone has committed. Not once. The entire social media that is peddling the lies have not stated a single violation of law. They have speculated. I mean, we can go on and on and on, but this is what Sierra Leone needs. Sierra Leone needs the Auditor General. Sierra Leone needs the Accountant General. Sierra Leone needs the ACC. Sierra Leone needs the civil societies. Sierra Leone needs the parliament. I think all of these people are far more credible than this clown in the Africanist. I mean, we established these institutions in Sierra Leone as credible institutions, as independent institutions. And here we are in tabloid social media platforms giving credibility to an individual who has every reason to be angry at the system and use it to gain notoriety. I can say that's number one. Number two, here's the other problem we face as a country. This story is more of a story of misogyny. It's more of a story of a patriarchal society than anything else. Our society is not comfortable with women that are confident. Our society is uncomfortable with women that are strong, with women that have opinion, with women that can offer aspirations and dreams to young girls. Our society is not comfortable with the progressive agenda. And unfortunately, a good many of us have been taught to just toe the line and follow the propaganda of the few and be in the midst of the sensationalization of media stories. In all honesty, we are speaking about these people like us are on here because it is important to educate the people of Sierra Leone as to why we must be engaged and informed citizens. Let me talk about the Office of the First Lady. All over the world, the Office of the First Lady is an informally recognized institution. In some places, I'm sure formally recognized. But the very men who wrote the Constitution of Sierra Leone failed to recognize the significance of the Office of the First Lady. Now, for that, I even put out the Constitution for give special role or specifically defined formal roles in ways where you go finance and then be accountable for the office. Somehow you have to fund the office. From my understanding, there is executive authority. There is executive powers. I am not here to speak on the legality of the funding of the First Lady in office. I would leave that to the Auditor General. I would leave that to the Parliament. I would leave that to the Accountant General.
Mr. Emmanuel, let me interject 1 second there before you go
Please
further.
do.
You say they therefore executive order can give to the for help budgets the First Lady's office. But anything will come to Sierra Leone has a constitution where say it get for go through Parliament. And Mrs. Bio done the cry of this from the start, say they not get money, they not get money, they not get money. Why did the administration not make a bill or whatever, can go to Parliament and say we need for change this, because you saying because our men are not comfortable with women in power, because I like strong women in power. I like women in power, but I don't like people that go over Usai or cross the bounds, because if we have to do it right, we get for say. And Mr. Ba Iyontin, the talk now say the First Lady's office go over, jump the constitution and do your own thing by taking the money from the purse of the people and go support and sponsor whatever in they do to. If the constitution not put on that way, they what it make it right. Wrong is wrong. If the constitution say you cannot do this, it does not make it right. Is it, Mr. Emmanuel? So go ahead.
No, the constitution. Well, it's a fair question, but I think it's important for them to clarify them. The office of the First Lady, we all recognize it is serving the people of this country, the people of Sierra Leone. All of the functions, if you really think about the First Lady work, in all districts, in all corners, in all regions of this country, you're not going to be able to put a monetary amount to what in that woman they do for that country. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars in terms of actual value transferred and exhibited in the life of the marginalized and Sierra Leoneans in general. But let me assume, say, the First Lady in office was funded by the government. And by all accounts, the First Lady in office, which is the interest and work of the people, should be funded by the government. Let me assume, say, the Constitution does not designate any special way where the First Lady in office should be funded. But we all know, say, the First Lady in office, not the people their office. The assumption is government function in ways that those things that are not inscribed in constitutions or laws that specifically states that you could do this or do that, if there are areas where we have to make do and we have to make sure the function and the work of the people go on, I believe that the government use their own legal procedures them for find ways for fund the First Lady in office. I mean, this is more about an issue.
Why is the president or the president and spokesman don't come out and say what to you they say so? Why they not they come out to them the people if they know they are right for can defend themselves? Because when somebody puts proof out there, because the evidence, like we say, are very overwhelming, it is very detailed. Why has the president or the president's office or people that represent the president not come out and speak to the people of Sierra Leone? Because that is the question we want to know.
Let me respond to that. Let me respond to that.
Yes.
First of all, I think it's misleading to continuously say the evidence is overwhelming. Which evidence? I mean,
it has evidence.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Just because there was an expenditure does not make evidence to what?
But it is evidence of what Mr. Ba back up in statement by evidence.
This is the problem. We keep misappropriating words that are not correct.
It is,
evidence
that's why
implies discrimination. Evidence to what?
Okay, well, hold on, sir.
Bank statements. Bank statements. Bank statements.
Okay, bank statements.
Withdrawals.
What is wrong with bank statement? It's an expenditure.
Mr. Emmanuel, if somebody can meet you, sir, and tell you, say, oh, you don't do this, you don't do that, I get paper trail, this not the text there where you been they text me, or this not the thing there, the money where you don't transfer to me, I can't bring them out. Don't you think you have the right to come out and defend yourself to the people of the country where don't mandate
Madam Fatima,
to take care of?
Every ministry's agencies, departments like Sierra Leone get bank statements and expenditures from the consolidated fund. Does that constitute evidence of a crime?
Okay.
So why are we doing this out of proportion?
Let me give Mr. Ford.
But why are we doing this out of proportion? I don't get it.
I cannot say we are blowing it out of proportion, sir. I'm saying
I can say we are because there's no evidence of a crime. There is absolutely no evidence of a crime.
Okay. Let me give Mr. Fode Morris, and I go beg the technical team if they get the Africanos printing where they don't print for the past how many days or how many times. Let it show them the detail and the breakdown and the letters from government officials where they don't say they don't transfer money and this and this and that and that. That is the question. The accountability of those money. Let we go to Mr. Fode Morris. Let we say let give an opportunity. Let respond to what you don't say.
Thank you. And even if I'm going to go by his own argument, Mr. Ali, okay. I mean, yeah, his own argument that
Mr. Ali.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mr. Ali. I'm going to go. I go by your argument. say the bank statement and nothing bank statement. Like I emphasize no more. If I lost my ATM card, for example, my brother Kutubu to get almost the same name, a mistake he offend the ATM card. But by the time Kutubu they give me my ATM card back, I don't get bank statements. Somebody else may not get access to this account. Where on certain date it shows withdrawal from my account. Then Kutumbu can give me my card. Say, hey, for the most look card or then this year. But I see withdrawal. The first person where they meet Kutumbu will give me the card. So say, hey, but so date during the 1 week where I lost the card. So withdrawal don't happen there. They don't put so money. Mr. Kutubu now can say, well, this money I pick up now. I know you make I can give you the card. Maybe the person will be thief the card. We don't withdraw the money. So a bank statement shows pattern. You can even look at the bank statement and see a pattern of corruption. You can see a pattern of overspending. For example, in one of the bank statements offered by the African Express, and by the way, African Express is not a one-person show. You have Mark Philman, it's an organization, it's a registered organization here in the United States. Credible registered organizations here in the United States, based on what my research. So it's not Chernor, African Express. Most of the articles are written and published by 3 reputable journalists. So it's not just Chernor. So back to the statement, we say, what's in a bank statement? What in bank statement they show? Bank statement they show corruption. How can on earth, like I remember the name of the, I know the bank said about AAA Enterprises, furniture, 50-something million, this million, this to the same furniture. How big is the office of the First Lady? Let's stay there, if we want follow up. Big sums of money to the same people. Not left-handed. On the bank statement, we also saw where people actually go take physical cash. The bank statement stipulates that. So if Mr. Ali is telling us that what Chernor has is not evidence, it's not relevant, I'm a little bit lost for words. I'm surprised that he sits there and says the bank statement is not relevant, it should say nothing. It shows a pattern of consistent cash withdrawals, where government should not be transacting doing transactions in cash. There should be a paper trail, but you have people, and there's one on the latest publication, which from the African Express, that says SALONE's president will spend 7.89 billion of public funds on shopping and foreign guests. If you click the article, there is also a letter. We just listened to the video of the First Lady saying he never had money directly. He goes through. That is not true again. That is not true. She's a First Lady. I won't call her a liar, of course, but that is not true. There is a letter directly from the office of the First Lady where they were given money, direct communications from the office of the First Lady to the Ministry of Finance. There is overwhelming evidence. The First Lady is denying. The more she denies it, the more we see that there is some form of cover-up. And then we have respectable people like Mr. Emmanuel Ali here coming in and trying to insult the whistleblower. Basically insulting Sierra Leoneans. But like I said in my opening statement, we should not be surprised. Over 30 years ago, from 1996, we were warned by President Yankaba. Charles Magai warned us. Alpha Saidu warned us. This current president sat for over 20-something years doing nothing. Doing nothing, depending on politics to survive. So if we put him in as president, what do you expect? And he has an accomplice, his wife. They're going to deny this until the next government on had more of the if I may borrow the words of the chief minister, egregious, rampant corruption. That was how the chief minister was emphasizing allegations of APC corruption. And now you have,
but there was corruption. There was corruption in APC. Nobody never denied that. There was corruption in APC.
Every government, even the government now, even but Joe Biden, brand new governments, corruption there everywhere.
Yes,
corruption is everywhere, Fatima. It is what we do about it.
Yes, but the thing is, and the problem says, according to Chernor, he said the way where they come out. And the talk of this corruption of APC was just a cover-up for then they do worse now According to Chernor, because he make audio and it gets them, it come on an interview, go back to the interview.
I listen to
so that's why they say, you know, where is the office of the president? Why are they declining interviews? If it is a lie, come out to the
Fatima, can I respond to that?
Evidence. Come out to the people and present the evidence. That's what
Fatima,
I would do.
Can I please?
Yes, please.
Can I please?
Go ahead.
I mean, listen, again, I mean, media people do media stuff. We keep talking about this fellow with the Afrikaners. As far as I'm concerned, he's a non-entity. He's not relevant in terms of public discourse.
Could,
I wish he was here, but yeah.
I wish
again, I'm giving my opinion about him. I'm telling you exactly what I feel about him. Because here's the problem with this guy. If the MCC, which is an internationally recognized organization led by the United States Congress, has accredited us for fighting corruption under President Bio in government, if the Afrobarometer, which is a continental and regional organization, have looked into corruption in Sierra Leone, have given us high scores for fighting corruption under President Bio in government, if the World Bank just released millions of dollars in grants and continues to accredit the Bio government for having fought corruption and having secured good governance, if all of these institutions, internationally reputable institutions, are accrediting our government, if the Deputy UN Secretary General can fly to Sierra Leone and meet with the First Lady and encourage her to use her voice to empower young girls in our country, if the regional organizations like ECOWAS or AU are looking at President Bio and giving him leadership positions to chair these organizations, if all of them are accrediting Sierra Leone as a country that is moving in a progressive direction, who is Chernor and his Afrikanist tabloid to tell us that we should listen to him? I rest my case. This is the argument. This is the argument.
Mr. Chernor also has a thing that he said he's gonna come out with these so-called media and human rights in Freetown, that all these reports are they are all under payroll of this administration. And it talk on the MCC report. It said when the people come to do NPC report, they come for 1 week. What they do is, this is according to Chernor, I'm trying to get him, if he could come and defend himself. Yeah, I hope he comes.
I'll be more than happy to debate Mr. Ba. I'll be more than happy to debate Mr. Ba.
Yes, but it talk on how it was a facade. They come in, then bring their young people and can talk to their MCC people here, and that is how they had the passing grade. But they don't have passing grade. This is the man. I mean,
that is ridiculous. I mean, and President Bio was able to fool the MCC, according to Chernor. Really?
Yes.
And we're going to take that around with it? Really?
Mr. Kutubu.
That is
Mr.
ridiculous.
Kutubu, please come into this. Yeah, come into this, Kutubu, please.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Believe me, tonight, I mean, the thing is so interesting. I'm just sitting here getting a whole lot of fun. Now, on a more serious note, though, I go back to the office of First Lady. We must all understand, say, the office of First Lady, for all intent and purposes, now an extension of the executive branch of government. Anyhow, look at.
Thank you. I like
the office of First Lady. Neither the chief host or hostess for the country, the office of First Lady. The office of the First Lady, again, even though in order by parliamentary out in column setting, but he get the right for either represent the sovereign of a country, the head of either in alone or they can work together. The other part of here is where the problem is. Now I make earlier when me and somebody talk, I say I go kind of bring the chief minister inside this and the financial sector. Yes, how are they going inside this? they need for understand say the office of first lady no go function all by itself. They should have staffed that office there, one with the press secretary, with the chief of staff, with this, with that. So the first lady just cannot be freelancing. This that they problem number one that did not take place. Then for make her more professional. Number two, I don't know where Sari no go hold on evolve or develop this thing here, where every how they call and get their accounting system. Where women they come up, we are them people of yesterday, we are yesterday people them. Now one institution will be know when are they every government money they come out, the treasury that they come out. Every money now from the treasury, the nation's treasury, will not be get to say 1 minute again, you under 1 minute again. So accountability actually it be very easy for them because everything comes at the end. But if significant and abiding for purposes of how they call it, you know they give cash to nobody because the problem about you giving a cash, there again accountability. We get a problem with that. If you can allow me, like just inject this week, BB country now also all day. Every department now get a card, you get a government card when they use. And those government cards, they take plainly how they use that. If you mistake, use that government card on use it personally, you will get a problem. Then they give everybody card, don't like even the gas card now. Then they give you the gas card. Obviously, when they give that, you go na a place designated place where na there you where they authorize you for put. If you take your motor car go for 12 for put a gas there, it not go work. So what thing we now need for do with this kind of a thing where they happen so. We where God make we fortunate enough for them that their social media at the top. May let not only dwell in ordinate amount of time on criticism. They will also not begin to come up with prophylactic measures them. We go address this term and then he'll say so we don't hold the country back. They'll begin to come up with recommendations and suggestions saying, it will A, B, C, and D for put in place. Again, like I said, there should be no cash, physical cash. Any department, not only the first lady, everything get forbidden by check or they not to catch. Nobody not for go withdraw out in column. It totally unfortunate. In fact, it create a room for corruption. Whatever it will be very difficult for accountability. So this is where I hold the chief minister accountable. What them for don't do? Then before not try to equip the office of the first lady. Put everything in that. Enough forget any access to physical cash. Enough, that not for even they are they call them enough for within limit. Say they withdraw money, they don't no. These things have to be done in such a way that we go to the called GSA. I'm not saying you are aware of the General Services Administration. Now the whole job that most of the first lady in office not equipped or the president in office not how they call them. Now the GSA and the fund the GSA so that accountability come. They need more to carry for the president or the president in office. The GSA now they make sure that take place. Now systems and structures them now not get in place. So what they do is they encourage corruption at the place. They encourage people to do things the way they not for do. So your contribution to this discussion, other than that this person do don't know, me go begin the profile solutions them how we go avoid this going forward. Because when corruption take place, they can only argue corruption actually is a human rights violation that day. It denies citizens what they're supposed to get. We need to be very mindful of that. Corruption of any kind is not good for the citizens. So me go baby brothers and already now they find two distinguished gentlemen who get there. Yes, we don't put all this blame. The blame is there. That's fine. We'll turn it from January to December. The fundamental question we'll get now: where do we go from here? How we go against this? How we go make sure say these things don't happen anymore? Now that I would really want to encourage them to find what I say, so then they see how they go able to help with. Back to you guys.
We can hear you, Miss Fatima.
A thing where is
I'm done. Back to you. I'm done.
Yeah, Mr. Shilon, sir.
Yeah. Well, couple of things.
Mr. Shilon, I don't know if you have to pick up, but I'm done. Me know you talk long one. I'm done.
Yeah. No, I'm on now. Couple of things.
Oh, Mr. Emmanuel.
Oh boy. Yeah. Here is the situation where me find myself. And here is my position. It's unfortunate, Mr. Emmanuel Ali thinks I editorialize, but not only that, that my comments tend to side with the other host. I don't say it, but he's entitled to that opinion. First of all, if I can recapitulate what he has said, I say almost what Mr. Kutubu just said, that the money, they talk about is not a large amount of money. The First Lady should have budget for operate. And what Mr. Ali himself said, that in fact, it's just a different way to say what he said. So it's not like I kind of condemn the First Lady. The only critical statement I made about the First Lady was that she does herself no good. If that is even critical, I think I'm being analytical and helpful. That it will serve our best interest, and it serves all of our best interests, as she is our First Lady, that she doesn't handle these things. She should have a PR person, she should have a press secretary, because it's an exercise in futility where you're the First Lady to go toe-to-toe with the press. Well, Mr. Ali has a right to take opposing position, but I thought I was being as objective as I could. And then the thing about editorializing, I probably will have put forward a question to Mr. Ali, but Ms. Fatima stepped in before I finished. So I did not have, you go back and review the tape. So I did not even have an opportunity to have ended what I was saying. But having said that, Mr. Ali, now I'm asking you, can you go back and tell me which comment did I make that tend to side the other side, that you disagree with? And last but not least, I also say Sierra Leone need a Chernor bar. Yeah, I mean, you have all right to disagree, but in every era, there is always a high-class investigative journalist. This is my observation of Sierra Leone political growth. We had the Ibrahim Taki, we have the Sam Mezga, we've had the Wallace Johnsons, we've had all people who have given hell to government. But then Mr. Ali named all which is important to government, but he seemed to have left out the press. So Mr. Ali, having made me comment, tell me the comment where I make where stand for side with the other side, and the editorialization where you seem to disagree with, please.
Mr. Shillon, in all due respect, and I've always held you in high esteem, I would prefer that we proceed with the conversation in terms of what the public want to know. Our disagreements on your previous approach, I think, have been resolved. So I would turn it over to Ms. Fatima or yourself to ask me direct question relative to the issue at hand.
Okay, may I ask you a direct question? Do you think?
Yes, please.
Do you think the press is significant to the growth of democracy in Sierra Leone, or the press should be left out of the political growth in Sierra Leone? Because
that is an excellent. Yes, that is an excellent question, and it is a relevant question. In fact, I think if you're counting people that are progressive in Sierra Leone, I would be among the top most progressive in my philosophy and ideology about what government ought to be in terms of its accountability to the people. Of course, the press serves as a relevant component of good governance and development. But you would also agree with me that today, what we traditionally call the press, the traditional role of the press, functions of the press, duties of the press, which is to serve the interests of the public in coming up with unbiased, and I underscore the word unbiased, unperspectived, independent investigation, which is what the press or journalism ought to be, with sacred oath of ethics. All of that is lost, whether it's in the first world America, whether it's in all of Europe, whether it's in Africa. The press has no relevance anymore. We are searching for people with integrity, for individuals in the profession who would actually seek out to represent the interests of the public by reporting what is wrong with government or what is right with government. We don't have that. Take a look at the press today. You want to tell a story, you get for pay them. You want for let them cover a story, you get for bring them come. I was in Sierra Leone telling stories all over the country, and people will call me, you're doing better than the press, because the press will not do this if you don't pay them to come do it. So yes, I believe the press in its traditional sense. You cannot have a government or a country move without the press. The question is, who is the press? Are they there to seek their special interest? You know, that is why I would rather rely on the MCC. I would rely on World Bank. I would rely on the Auditor General, on the Accountant General, to perhaps tell us the full story, because they have access to it. Not the press that is demented, not the press that is bastardized, not the press that is polluted, not the press that is corrupt, even in America. Every press has a perspective, have an opinion, have a point of view. There is no such thing as the press anymore. I mean, that's the sad reality, Mr. Shillong. And Mr. Ba is no different. Mr. Ba has not accused the government of one single crime. Mr. Ba has not accused Fatima Bio of one single crime. He keeps talking about he got some statements. Statements about what? The First Lady is an extension of the government as far as the role that she's playing. And let me say this and actually hope Australians hear it. Majority of the money that the First Lady spends are donations from different institutions. The government may subsidize, but the First Lady puts her sweat, her energy, her time, and lots of money she collects from many, many different places to help the vulnerable, the poor, and the marginalized in our society. Is Mr. Chernor willing to tell the story? No. He's looking for sensationalization. He wants to tell a story to make him famous. That is exactly where he was coming from. Let me pause there. And it does a disservice to our country and the development of our nation, because the country has never had a First Lady like Fatima Bio in terms of the development, progress, voice that she gives to the voiceless.
No wonder. May I come in? I'm falling asleep here.
Yes, go ahead.
Hello?
Don't fall asleep, please. I think we're having fun.
Mr. Shillong, once again, the focus here is the allegations that the First Lady spent exorbitant amounts of money from the Consolidated Fund. I was listening just now to Mr. Ali again. He says the money spent by the First Lady was money donations to our office. Blatantly correct.
I think you should correct that. That is not what I said.
That's okay. I didn't interrupt you.
That is not
you
what
can
I
watch
said.
the video later.
No, but do not misrepresent me.
You can watch the video later. That was what you said, sir.
I'm not going to allow you to do that.
I did not interrupt you when you said it, but please let me learn. You can watch what I did not say. You said that.
I didn't say that.
Hold up.
Mr. Ali, if you can maintain some decorum, I think you should.
No, but it's your job as host to correct him. Correct him immediately.
No, but we can't correct him in the middle. But we cannot correct him in the middle of him talking. We have to wait and do so, because if we keep interrupting each other, that's what we said.
There's nothing to correct about. He just said it right here. If any of you have the chance to review the video, he just said.
Well, I can't allow this to happen. This is APC tactics.
The money, but let me learn.
No,
you have no facts to pretend. You have no fact to pretend. You cannot defend the First Lady. So you want to make this a screaming match. This is why you're interrupting me. You're interrupting me because you have nothing to defend. You cannot defend the egregious corruption of the First Lady, the thieving, the spending. So you want to make this.
This not Dr. Bull with the Durham, North Carolina, with another edition of True Say Talk Me. This True Say Talk Me, they can present to you a gift of good health from Cotton Tree Pharmacy to the people of Sierra Leone, and also how we with the overseas go help with people forget good medicine we go help them. Cotton Tree Pharmacy don't come for solve the problem, for help with people with well body, and for help them with medicine way they need we go change their life. The government self not able to do it in 43 pharmacy they do. We were the overseas, many time them, we don't get a 4 o'clock morning call. When I call they come, they say Sisi sick, your brother sick, you begin sick, your mama sick, your papa sick. They begin ask you for money for buy medicine. We send money fiti fata because we are so afraid that we fumble and go die. But continue pharmacy don't come out with a way with people who will get through medication, and we self will able to pay for the medication the way they will get on time. We go help them. Continue pharmacy day 17 Pademba Road na Freetown, and then get a website we go help with information. If you want calling a Freetown, the number na 232 306 11664. And the website that www.cottentreemedicalgroup.com. Then get all kind of prescription medicine where you go want, and then get all the well body medicine then. Well, I can't take you through the website. So you were overseas, England, Germany, Australia, and all about the world, even other countries in Africa, you will be able to buy medicine for your family. This now how the website they work. This now the website for Cotton Tree Pharmacy. The address now 17 Pademba Road, Freetown, Sierra Leone. The telephone number na Freetown na 232 306 11664. The telephone number for WhatsApp and for call in America na 202-361-9155. And if you want to send email, you go send the email to customer service at cottentreemedicalgroup.com. So how these fine websites they work for the one the way they Freetown and for the one the way they America. Well, when you can at this website, first of all, you go for type in www.cottentreemedicalgroup.com www.cottentreemedicalgroup.com, and then when you can at this website, you go click on the menu. When you click at the menu, like here I go tell you the prescription process. So the prescription process is simply to tell you how it.
Hello.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Okay. The commercial.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Now, hopefully I can speak.
Yes. Go ahead, please. We've been get for sell some commercial and calm the tempo down. But everybody is on the same sheet of music now. Let me go ahead. Then we go take the callers. We open the phone line to callers for let them give their own opinion. And like we say again, let we respect one another. Let we listen to one another. Let we hear, because if we talk over one another, we'll not hear the message. So let we listen patiently and let we do. And everybody go get time for pulling name, come out or defend himself or correct whatever is supposed to be corrected. So Mr. Morris, go ahead and say what you want to say.
Once again, and I'm respectfully challenging the producers, the engineers of this group, to go back a few seconds. The last time he spoke, what I referenced, he said that the office of the First Lady was being financed by donors. That's what I picked up. And it is, I'm 100% sure. But the point I was trying to make from that starting point is, the First Lady, we remember first say, the First Lady, we first, they ask her more money. I think now one journalist in Gambia, they said, government only get 1 cent. That was even before Chernor begin talk anything. Government only get a penny. You want me to give my money, which I've suffered for in England for over 20 years. He wants me to go give light in Bo, go give light in Kenema, blah, 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 blah. He said, government only get nothing. On the last publication on the 25th of January, now the Africanist website, go to the website right now, you see a receipt where as early as December 2018, the first year where President Bill become president, where the direct money from finance to the office of the First Lady, Mr. Ali, the respectable Mr. Ali here, say the first lady not get money from the executive. Same thing when the first lady been denied. He don't confirm her back. He don't green now say yes if they get money. If they take money, boku money. But I say this now wasteful spending. But at some point it is going to be described 10 times more than the word egregious corruption, like the chief minister be say. These people, like what Chernor say, they focusing, they pretend to focus on Sierra Leoneans focus on while they are emptying a national treasury, like President Bio did in the 90s. Official people said President Bio emptied SALONE national treasury. He go 20 something year, he don't start. Now he don't can. Now he can't accomplish Fatima. I say Fatima, God forbid it. Fatima no mix my corruption. Fatima Bio. Now he gets accomplished. A foreign woman, a woman, when he man the thief, instead of the thief, the people they take 400,000 cash. Cash. It is on the statements. Now, which government will transact money international with cash? Except if you know to launder, they launder the money, you the thief and for go clean home and we then call money laundry. So,
okay,
Mr.
okay.
Ali, yeah, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. Finish that. I want to stand quick and let we give people them chance for ask the question. Then I will make Mr. Ali respond to that.
Fatima, I think it's fair that I respond now. He just made some statement.
Okay, are you don't land Mr. Fode Morris?
Yeah. Flag your chance.
Okay, Mr. Ali, go ahead, sir. And
yeah, really quickly. Again, I've been on this program before. I've been quite a gentleman, I would say, in respecting my fellow guests. But I'm very disappointed at a man who would mischaracterize what I said, knowing fully well I didn't say that. Okay, let me state again what I said. I said everybody they talk about the money way the first lady in office they get from the government. That significant amount of money comes to the first lady through donation funds. Those were my exact words. So don't misrepresent what I didn't say. That is dishonorable. Don't do that. My name means a lot to me. And I'm here speaking my views about the government, but I want to do it honestly, and I hope that people you bring here can be honest enough. So if you're going to quote me, say exactly what I said. I did not say that. And you double down on it. I really take issues with that. I really think you owe me an apology. You kept doubling down on something that wasn't true. I've never interrupted a guest on this show. Everybody who invites me on this show knows that. But I take issues with dishonesty. Back to you, Ms. Fatima.
Mr. Morris.
Ms. Fatima and Mr. Ali, you know, apology. I'm 100% sure. The good thing is, this program is being recorded. Maybe you owe me an apology when you go back and watch the video that in the heat of the moment, in your passion to defend the indefensible, you have nothing to defend. You did say that, sir. If we review this video, you didn't say that, I will make a public audio with apologize to you. Please promise me that you also will do the same and apologize for arguing with me that you said those words right here. I'm not crazy, I'm not drunk. So can we make a deal that if we review the video and you did say that you would apologize? And if not, I apologize. Is that a gentleman's agreement?
Of course, I would do that. But
okay, gentleman's agreement. Gentlemen's agreement, we move on. The mission here is Sierra Leone, and the mission here is to fight corruption. And President Bio, in his words, say, corruption, we get for fight corruption, and we get for win. And we want for win corruption. So anything when a corruption, we want bring her in the open.
And by the way, Fatima, it is your responsibility to correct him because I know I didn't say. I know you all heard and know that I didn't say.
Stop pushing people around.
We gonna go to the table.
You can't be pushing everybody around. We already have an agreement. We just have a gentleman's agreement.
Later on. But corruption is
as far as I understand journalism to be, the host would have to make the immediate correction. That's how I know it. That's how it works.
Okay, let's not go back there. We'll not go back. Let's go forward because we go forward. We don't learn from our mistakes and we'll go forward. And things that we do sometimes, you know, we can do stuff or we can say stuff. We're not really consciously what would they say. Then later on, we see what we say. That's why in the play, what they do in the books of football, they say, let's go back to the tape. We go another time because we're not sophisticated enough yet for get live program and get the tape going on. So let we take call of them. Let we hear with people that know you so far because this is serious. Because if they accuse you of something, you have the right to come out and defend yourself. and we are waiting on the office of the president. We are waiting for the spokesman of the president. And one thing I will give to Mr. Emmanuel Ali. Mr. Emmanuel Ali believe in the SLPP, believe in the present administration. And I always say to him, he's steadfast in whatever he's saying in belief. And I can say to him, say, President Bio need for hire him, for defend him, because he's a good person. We're going to come out and wait in a call. I can always say that to him in private as well as in public, because he's passionate about and he believe what he believe and he see what he see. This is the good thing about democracy. Everybody gets in view. They try for convince me, or they try for convince me. I can buy what you say, I don't can buy what you say. But we agree to agree respectfully. So now we take the call of them. Now we listen to what Salone people, then they say, because this not a show through and this not a platform where them put together for let's Sierra Leone, we are reading voice so that we go pass on to the people the way they run the country. Caller, good evening. What's in your name and also you the call for play?
Hello, yeah, Mina Ibrahim. I the call from.
Okay, who side they call from?
Full of people. Sarah.
Okay, go ahead. Please.
Yeah, on
yes,
job,
hear you, but you break
they call government for peace. You know, will respond the government media. You believe safety they talk yes, they get to they go yeah. Well, they respond for that's in the it's not that moment. Every stay what talk in it.
We're not a yeah, Mete. Are you people getting him? It's breaking.
I'm with
I'm calling.
He needs to hang up and call back. Let him know. No, but tell him why we cut him out.
Hello?
Yes.
Make him know so
you got me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hang up and call back. So.
Okay, you got me now?
Okay, we get you well and clear now. Go ahead, please. Just state your name again.
Okay, yeah, Ibrahim from Tehran.
Okay, go
just
ahead.
Like what they say, where people they say government will respond to Chernor. This or that.
It's still the break. You still the break. You go hang up and call back. Let's go to the next caller. It is breaking so bad. We're not here.
Tell him to call back. Let him call back.
Go ahead, please. Next caller, please. Technical team, now be sensitive of that. If the thing they break, now now it's time. Now go to the next caller. Next caller, please. Evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are. What thing are you take on this thing? The whistleblower, Chernor, alarming accusations against the First Lady, Mrs. Fatima Bio. And you don't give it to panelists and don't say what thing are you take, what do you want to add, or what do you want to take away. Okay, what is happening with the phone? Okay, that's it's not working. What is going on with the phone line? Okay, yeah. Okay, so I want to let you go for me, Mr. Producer back there. I want to let you go for me to the interview on Friday. I want to let you start from 31 minutes. I want to let we hear Mr. Barr while we talk, because I mean, in not there now, we got to try for each I not say it work on a publication where it want pull of the evidence the way don't promise say again for pull and things or more publication on this issue and the government spending and all the other side. But I want to let we hear what he say. He say I gave time, I gave them time, I gave them time. Because we don't hear Mr. Emmanuel say, you know, he is just a propaganda, there's no evidence. But this, in your words, I want to hear small bits them what he say while we wait for the caller them for fix the line. So anytime where you don't get the queue ready, let us know. And Mr. Shilon, you don't hear all waiting they go on right now. And we want for make Salone go before. We want for let Salone better. And President Bio promised we new direction. But while we dey wait on that day, let we go to something where we see on social media. Then there's there, but then people them where the government, they try for build the road, they try for do other stuff. But we say stuff again. The governments they do their own for hold we back, but the people of Sierra Leone they do their own for hold them back. And Mr. Emmanuel make a video where he sent to me, and I was so appalled by it. I put him now with page on VOS, and he get over 500,000 view, which is the people of Sierra Leone. They go make road, then they go take road, and then they go scrape thing there where they put for build the road. We go better all man, but with people and back they all we don't. And you read the voice of the man they talk on how now because times are hard, this that. There is no excuse for wrong. In my book, in my play, wrong is wrong. They dress them, they make them fine. Wrong is wrong. If somebody does wrong, there is no excuse in my play. So I'm not saying you don't see that video. They're waiting that you comment on them. I don't know if they're going to get the video for you, but waiting at the comments and what you get for say on that day, because all this na corruption. All the corruption, me from where I sabi, from where I small, where I born na Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone was good because the rich man they don't left. But people say we should not go back to history, but history is important. For no USA we come out, for no USA we go. But with people, the mindset back again gets the problem. We will come back to President Mrs. Mada Bion while we fix the phone line. But let we talk on this other issue first quick.
Okay, Ms. Fatima.
You can do 2 minutes. Give me just 2 minutes quick summary of that.
I indeed see the video, Mr. Ali saying, if you recall, I even comment say that was a job well done, because sometimes not everything government can see and be aware of. But then we see a subsequent video where even show, I don't even at the same area, where Mr. Ali show, it doesn't look like it, but it's another part of the country where they construct road. When you get, at first glance, you remember saying that the road crew, because the people were so many, all up and down the road, just bailing away gravel. But again, I don't want that to be taken as criticism, but I just wonder, knowing the tendency of people, knowing the mentality of people, and knowing the high likelihood that exactly that will happen. Because in my line of work, we have a phrase called foreseeability. It was foreseeable that gravels to build the roads they left out like that will be taken or stolen by the people. We cannot pretend not for know with people the tendency, because at the end of the day, right or wrong, true or false, we are dealing with people. So we have to, the advantage which man get over is that then the study every culture. An American, they left America, I go to Africa, I go some mosquito go better and go through everything for understand we culture. The long-term goal is when he wants to deal with us, he knows from what direction to tackle us, because he know how we think. So you see, I always say government is not an easy thing. Well, brothers and sisters, they just think saying for go run a parliament, then in a government, you are called president, you are called member of parliament, but it's more than that. It takes extraordinary commitment. It takes extraordinary skills. It takes a lot of devotion. So with people and get away for think. If you go construct, because sometimes you even have to guide people and guard people against themselves. And this is a practical example. It was foreseeable that what Mr. Ali discovered on the road, it was highly likely to happen. So the policymakers, and to me, it doesn't matter if it's APC or SPP. I don't see a right or wrong in terms of political party. To me, it makes no sense. I can never be blinded to the wrong or right of APC or SPP, because wrong doesn't come under a certain banner. I mean, wrong comes with one face, right comes with one face. That's the way I see it. But if we go construct roads for the good of the people, if we're not to go construct road for the good of the people, my thing is take the appropriate action, such as soon as they lay them gravel in there, knowing the likelihood that it will be stolen, go ahead and tie the road or take some necessary action or get some, call it the chief in the area, the paramount chief, the section chief, the village chief to say, hey, this is what we're going to do, because it takes some degree of education too. Now, let me finish this. It takes some degree of education, you know, and then let the people, because we just can't focus on results when something happens. It's just like in this country. Why do you think we have psychologists, we have social workers? Because sometimes, and in your line of work, I'm made to analyze all the action of somebody. You just don't arrest and throw somebody in jail because he commit bank robbery. There may be mitigating circumstances why he did that. That doesn't make him right. That doesn't mean he has to do it, but it's good to know why he did it. So I'm just simply saying here, having seen what Mr. Ali discovered, which was horrible, and which was a very responsible civil thing to do, but that will not solve it. What will solve it is to understand why are the people doing it and what appropriate steps can be taken in the future to prevent that. Unless we deal with that, we will keep having a replay of the same situation, and we're not going to get anywhere.
Okay, the phone lines are ready. Let we go to the phone lines, because we get for let them gentlemen go. I know say they want to go watch the Super Bowl, and people are watching the Super Bowl, but Salone issue. Good evening, caller. Name, please, and where you call from. Hello, caller. Okay, you said the caller was ready. Is it the caller or the video? I don't know which one is it.
Maybe the lines are.
Okay, now we go to the video. Okay, let's go to the video. Let's go to the video. Let's go to the video, please. Okay. Okay, good evening, caller. What's in your name? Who should I call from, please? Hello, caller. Hello, caller. Good evening. Name, please, and who should I call from? Okay, we get them. They have problems today with the phone lines. Caller, hello. Okay, let's go to the video. I know you're going to call alone. Video, please. Let's play some of this soundbite for Mr. Chernor. Hello, caller. Good evening. What's your name and where you call from, please? Hello. Caller. Play some of this soundbite for Mr. Okay, the caller get for turn down his set. Jesus. Hello, caller. Good evening. What's your name and where you call from? Because they listen to it. They get for turn outside listen to him down. Okay, we're not ready yet for the caller. Let's play the tape, please. Don't waste them. Play the sound bite from Chernor on Friday. One of in sound bites them. Let's listen to this quick. Go ahead, please.
Because difficulty. Wow.
Okay, this is not looking good.
When I begin to point out that many of them got offended because for them, power has already arrived that, you know, the complaints for done. So some of them begin to say, oh, you just left for criticize. Okay, or some of them begin even say it too early. I even noticed some of these SLPP supporters, I noticed some of them begin to delete me from their WhatsApp groups, and, you know, they never wanted the conversation. Okay, that went on for like 2 years, increasingly. So finally, I've observed things and begin to get worse. The violence at the country, the attack on parliament, the attack on the opposition, by-election violence and all of this, you know, the brutality. So I said, oh no. Now, I think, say, if we've been in doubt whether this government, it will be too early or not, this is not mistakes anymore. They know the line along the job. So people need to speak out. So then I decide to engage them now. But before even this essay, I will not begin to write on my Facebook 2-3 sentences, one comment for one. Say no. The quick government announce something, I write one comment. So what that was meant to do was to tell them that is not how you do things. Okay, because initially you would say these people just got in the office. Maybe there are challenges. Maybe they don't know how to do things. Okay. But for me, I've not been feel say that ignorance or whatever, but I never wanted a situation as well where people say you did not give them chance. So in observing them for 24 months, I already see the consistent decline, the deviation from the party manifesto, the deviation from the election promises, and lack of regard for people and voices. So I see the democratic space begin to shrink. People don't become afraid for even talk. People maybe they talk in the past don't go silent. I say no, this is not good. So I decide to ring the bell and say, hey, this you have had more than enough time to recalibrate, to think, to move the country according to what you promised, and you have abandoned that promise. And now you have intensified violence. You are almost repressing your opponents. So I decided to say, we have to begin to hold this government accountable. And then I begin do. That was when I was also observing internally how the government function. Okay, a part of the public pronouncement. By the time I write that article, I was already deep in investigating the government. Okay, I was already looking at the financial operation of the government because I noticed that they did not abandon the idea of announcing almost in the generating revenue, almost in the generating when they travel, how many people they travel with the president. They don't abandon all those things. So I started saying, why is this? Why have they stopped doing that? So I was already investigating how they were operating different from what they are saying publicly. At the city public pronouncements, I've been an investigator as well. They look at, how is this? So I was tracking the performance of the government behind the scenes. While they said, so at the time of March, the public conversation of the government officials and what they were doing behind the scenes. So as I said, the two, because these are individuals that I know, I was able to look at them from both ends, from both sides of the coin, what they were doing behind stage, what they were doing, above ground. So I say, no, as I say, this is heading for disaster. People need to be informed about this because people have been seduced to just talk about what had happened in the country in the last 10 years, ignoring what was going on. So I said, no, we need to end this noise about government's commitment to fighting. They say that empty economy, the country bankrupt, they inherited the bankrupt economy, empty purse and empty. And I realized it was a lie. So for me, that was too much to even think about and to even begin to understand. And then the hypocrisy, the public performance was different from what we were doing behind the scenes. So I said, no, this cannot be the individuals who we sat down together in, people that radio. We were on radio, on television, talking about corruption, talking about bad governance, talking about human rights violations under an Nkrumah. And here you are doing worse than that situation. And people have been unable to see it because of the noise that they are also making to distract the population from this ongoing bad conduct, bad affairs which happen behind the scenes, behind the curtains. So I said, no. But before I wrote this, I was also asking them, why are you doing these things? And every time I say to them on my Facebook, like one sentence in a Facebook comment, or even in a WhatsApp group comment, what I noticed in the WhatsApp group comment was I was being deleted from these social groups, social media forums where we are. So I said, This is a sign of dictatorship. If somebody not ring the alarm bells on this situation, the country is going to head towards a disaster without everybody tend to realize it, the damage will be too much and difficult to repair. So I had to write these words now openly and say, well, if we not feel say we're quite everybody, if we not think say we all not party, we not to party, but we come to country interest to and the country future is more important to us than even this thing that you're doing, and especially in a situation where you have proven to be uncommitted to the things you said you were committed to over the last 10 years. So I decided that this situation has to be made known to the public and that the public has to be educated, and also to remind people that there is no
there is no holiday when it comes to the question of engaging government, that democracy cannot exist without contestation, democracy cannot exist without conversation, that the path to good governance, to the rule of law, to accountability, to the management of public finance can only be made possible by an engaged citizenship, engaged citizens. So the idea of an engaged citizenship, when they make democracy qualitative, if you look all across, for example, I hate to talk about America as an example when I talk about Africa, but you see, with the 4 years of the Trump presidency, there was no break. Okay, citizens were actively engaged in the conversation. So up to the last minute, up to now, they're talking about how to address the damage that has been caused by 4 years of a previous administration, and not forgetting that is a part to while we talk about the past, but we cannot talk about the past at the expense of what is ongoing. And I have decided that, it is high time we put what is ongoing in as part of the national conversation. The national conversation must include both the past and the present.
Okay. They say again for include the past and the present and the way forward. I mean, and then our VOS then thing. When I don't hear me, Simon. Well, you said that you don't get evidence. They say this man, but he said he's an investigative journalist. He gave them time. He won them. These are the people that they were the freedom fighters. They were the fighters. Well, I mean, they're on the sideline. They fought APC. They go on national TV and radio and all. He gave them warning. But where is Sisi? According to Ramen, Yusuf Doyegi for Yusuf, is Sisi so can you still call this propaganda, or this man is not like a person where credible of what he don't say as a concerned Sierra Leonean? Will that not, say, hey, wait a minute, let me look into this too a little bit further? Would that not bring curiosity to any Sierra Leonean that really want for we go before power waiting, we don't promise with people, the government don't promise we?
Fatima, thank you. No, when I listened to this clip, in fact, it convinced me even more, say the guy is a fraud. For the past 15 years, all throughout Kurma government, I was the one that challenged citizens to be active. I was the one that encouraged people to engage in understanding how their government works and have a voice, including the press. But here's a man who says, again, I think First Lady in story, in fact, makes more sense now when he say this guy was peddling what he thought was his advantage for almost blackmail the government. If you listen carefully and analyze everything he was saying, I waited for 24 months. I mean, why wait for 24 months if you're a journalist? You tell the story today. And here's the man, you tell the story if you see it. You write the story if you see it. You don't hold the people of Sierra Leone hostage for 24 months, and then 24 months later, you can't tell your story. Obviously, you were looking for something for 24 months. And when you didn't get what you wanted, you started to go out in public and sell your propaganda. Okay, another point. He says it was a lie that, it's going to be a lie that the forensic audit's not a true. That is a pathetically lie, because IMF was leaving, World Bank was leaving, everybody, EU, we don't give up on an Kurma in reckless fiscal irresponsibility. Nobody would dispute that. Down at one point where anybody studying Chernor about this in clip, not going to put any credibility to what he has to say, because that statement is false. He said they were doing worse on human rights violation than any other government. Absolutely patently lie. Because every index we measure President Bio in performance on all of these good governance measures have ranked President Bio higher than every previous government, especially the past Kurma government. These are objective facts that I am stating. And what he was stating were patent lies. No, anybody were critical, we observe, we're intelligent slightly enough, go see the, in my opinion, the personal intentions of the Africanist tabloid editor there, pushing his own personal agenda. No, I am not convinced. No, the nation is not convinced. No, you are not convinced, Fatima. You know you are not.
No, I would reserve my opinion. I will reserve my opinion right now because I'm sitting in the desk of the host. I will reserve my opinion. Maybe later I will add me thing to it because I am a Sierra Leonean too, and I have my, I have my own views. I have my own take
But that was a
because
rhetoric.
no
I
one
didn't
left out like
expect you
that.
to
But I
comment
give
on it.
Mr. Fode Morris, Mr. Fode Morris. The other guest, Mr. Emmanuel, where he say why wait 24 months or why make even though Mr. Chernor don't give in detail why he waits and he give the warnings, he give the stuff because people and they say, well, it's too early, for to criticize, wait first. And in mind they say, well, sometimes they not sabi do the work, sometimes they learn, but then they look and say, now waiting a call. So you don't hear what Mr. Emmanuel say, what you say, Mr. Morris, sir?
I laugh, I laugh. I giggle now. That Chernor always does that. Chernor, it decide for a grace period. President Bio, before he become president, he don't sit on 20-something year, he not be president, he won't be president. He fight tooth and nail within the SLPP for become the flag bearer. He come up at the time a very brilliant party manifesto on what he could do. Chernor decide for wait for 2 years, let the new government, mostly the new people, most of them were not into government work, most of the one we employ. If any journalist decide for give a new government a 2 years grace period, I think it's a good thing because you not just go, you begin work there, you begin publish things about them, you allow them to make the mistakes, then correct them. If eventually almost 3 years, Chernor begin publish within in findings, I think say he do the government of President Bio, the SLPP government a big favor. In fact, for me, I think say it's very unfair to the APC because with the APC, Chernor begin publish articles from day one when Ernest Koroma was elected in 2007, 2008 up to 2018. Chernor never stopped. And each time he was free to go to Sierra Leone. Some of us in the APC who had known him, who interacted with him. Here in America, we invited him to APC functions. We did not call him names as he's being called propagandists and other names now. What Chernor is doing is a service to our nation. And I bet after this government, the next government, Chernor would continue to do what he does best. Chernor should be hailed, should be respected by every Sierra Leonean because he has been consistent all along. He has never been a member of the APC. He has never been a member of the SLPP. And he has been consistent since he focused on his journalistic work. And let us not forget that the African Express, Chernor is not the owner of the African Express. Chernor is employed. This is a registered company, a newspaper outlet here in the United States. If these SLPP folks don't believe what Chernor is publishing or they're wrong, they have the right. They have an official SLPP branch here in the US. Let them take Chernor back to court right here in America. Let them take him to court. The African Express. They should take them. The SLPP government, they have the ambassador here. There's the embassy. There's the official SLPP branch, SLPP USA. They can take Chernor to court. But they're not going to do that. Because what in Chernor they publish, what in Chernor they write, not the right thing, they back them up with evidence. He say he wait for 2 years. All along, in fact, the information which Chernor say he get, he say he investigate for over 14 months. Now 1 year, 2 months, he investigate. He say it just begin. So the more they agitate and insult Chernor, I think it's good for Sierra Leone. It makes Chernor the vex inside, although the man will calm, you know, they see show anger publicly. When they make, then they motivate them more to dig up more. And I'm sure say more sources than a SALONE, we go leak information to Chernor, we go continue for more credible information to Chernor we go to use. For that, if Mr. Ali no take Chernor seriously, that's so big, that is good. Chernor will do more. So eventually he will take us seriously.
Okay, I know for
almost
sure.
3 years.
I know for sure he's working on a print right now as I speak for pull out by midnight tonight. I heard. that they work on that day, because I try for column for make he can defend himself, you know, but they work on something right now. But I mean, this is serious business. This is for real. This is not about party. This is not about you. We got fine gentlemen here. Everybody they give in point and defend your side. You know, it's good to defend your side. But if the truth is to come out, Mr. Ali, I ask you, would you be disappointed in your party? Would you be disappointed, say, this is not waiting we promise? Because as according to Chernor, they were friends. They were together. Then they talk and oppose the past regime, and then get this vision of Sierra Leone together. They all have this vision for, say, we want for see SALONE. And Mickey always sit on and say, we want a radical leader. A leader we will move. We're not radical in violence, but radical in ideology. We will take we to the level where we get for go. We want like a Rollins, we lay the groundwork where Ghana they enjoy so today. And I made a comment one time. I saw President Bio and the First Lady, he wear this white dress, and that was the picture I made my comment on that. I've said it many times on this platform, that God has given him a second chance to make the wrongs of the past. And where will your name be in history? Do you want your name to be written on the sands of the Atlantic Ocean, where the waves of the beaches will wash it away? Or do you want to be on that Lion Mountain where they go stay forever and President Bio begin this change? And that is the question here. Because we're waiting with the Yeri in the sweet way. Me not to APC, me not to SLP people, I want let SALONE win. And hearing these things, and it's coming from somebody else, it's kind of say, wait a minute. It makes people think, wait a minute here. Who are we to believe? Who are we to believe? Because this man has put in case across, they don't put in evidence that we get, a bunch of stuff we get together, where they don't put, say, these are the things I have looked at, these are the things I've investigated, so will you be disappointed if not true, say, yes, not to the kind way where you may expect it happen so? Because we are all Sierra Leoneans and we're talking Sierra Leone first.
No, Ms. Fatima, I think the Honorable Mr. Shilon referenced early where he talks, say, we're not talking about any significant amount of money, but I think the most important thing there is, you think of the First Lady in work now with country, and you think of the expenditure, I'll call it expenditure, which whatever they talk about, it's really not a story, and you should not sleep over it. Let me tell you, as early as 2005, where they overemphasizing on relevance about talking to people, under the Kabah government, myself, Napoleon Umar Okoroma, Bonafa, people in government today, we got together and we were young intellectuals who designed our vision of a progressive society. You can go talk to Napoleon, talk to Bonafa, talk to other people. We stood there and we looked at the vision of Sierra Leone that we wanted. So when they talk to people, a lot of young people did that. We did this. So why is it inflating his relevance in terms of his participation in his own civic responsibility? You know, again, let us be honest with ourselves. This is what people should do. But today, you think of the millions of dollars, if you were to quantify in actual value that the First Lady adds to the country, you would really have to ask yourself, are these Sierra Leoneans reasonable people that they would not embrace the work of the First Lady? Instead, talk of a meager expenditure of 1, 2, 3 million, where First Ladies all over the world have millions and millions and millions of dollars in expenditure. Is this really worth our time? Should we not speak of other things? No, really. Again, that's my opinion. Fatima, it's my opinion.
I believe we have to talk about these things. We get for talk about
is there any crime?
According to the words
of any crime being committed?
According to the words of Mr. Ben Kalfala, where he been on my platform a couple of times, he said this and he said, and I quote and say, I paraphrase because I don't know in exact word for word. But he say we not get for one fire brigade government again. We get for out the fire. Usa catch na they will for utter. Usa EPG na they will for waiting and column. There was a journalist that came out and made an accusation of the chief minister. And guess what happened? Next thing you know, he just made an allegation. He said he sent a question. He was interrogated. He was put in jail. So you say people for the speak out. Many people are afraid. Many Sierra Leoneans are afraid to speak out because government after government, they have been abusing their power and squeezing the rights of citizens to speak out and challenge things that they seem not right. So I mean,
I gotta respond
you
to
know,
that.
so for say, it's every citizen for they do that. Yes, it is true, but our governments allowing citizens to come out and to Mr. Sefwe don't sit there, so they don't accuse me of APC, SLPP. I have had people that have threatened me that if I go to Freetown, they're gonna arrest me and put me in jail. I say I kill anybody, I do anything. I am a Sierra Leonean and I have the right to my yeah. So I want to give you the chance, please.
Thank you, Fatima. Again, that statement is not true. You know, for the 50 plus years of the history of this Libel and Sedition Act, where every government said and go repeal and never did, the only government and the president will repeal the Libel and Sedition Act is that of the SLPP president beyond the new direction. It has given every platform to every journalist to say what they want to say, and the whole world knows that. This is why I'm a little disappointed, because we have to speak to facts. The arguments we're making, or other people are making, does not support the evidence. The evidence is going the other way. The whole international community has accredited this government. We haven't complied with all the forms of good governance. Much, much better than the APC and Kuruma government. I would like to argue facts. That's all I want to do. I want to argue the facts and not the politics. I refuse to argue the politics. I'm good at it, but I'm arguing the facts. Let every other person argue the facts.
Kutubu. Yeah, let me bring Mr. Kutubu in. Mr. Kutubu, you know, you Mr. Emmanuel, and the same go to you. I mean, people, it is our job as citizens to come out and call out when we see wrong. But yet, you know, people are afraid, and we don't hear say that they buy people, them journalists are being bought, people are being bought for they on either side for take sides. I mean, is that thing that you believe, say, really we get the freedom of speech that we deserve to speak up and call out without people attacking us? Because people will come and attack you. They have a thing called imprinting. When you see somebody in somebody, you hold this person because you're not able to acquire or achieve that status with that person hold. So you see yourself inside that person, and as you come for talk on the person, say they do wrong or whatever, you have people that will come strangle you and try for bring you and discredit and do all kind of stuff because you are attacking their idol. So in Sierra Leone, do we have that privilege? Even though there is the libel lawsuit don't go with President Bill, which we all give him credit for and all that, and applaud them for that because we need that. But at the same time, we saw injustice with journalists and people them. We still been go under lock and key. When later on they left them because the police do their own thing too and all that stuff. What do you want for say with that, Mr. Kutubu?
Thank you. I go back to making always left for talk in terms of which he passed yesterday, because the great English philosopher Edmund Burke he says, you know, remember what me happened yesterday. He chance for like repeat the same mistake today if possible. Some of we actually lament who they come up, the sort of journalists they will be in the SALONE, people like Babs Kasim, people like you say, okay, Ibrahim Taki, Sam Meziga, and all the rest of them. Those are guys who we are able to muster the courage of conviction and fortitude and call the issues as they saw it. The greatest canker one we don't see them now, country where they make journalists them. We're not very proud of them, I must tell you, across the board. This praise singing, where they don't get involved, this praise singing, where journalists prepare for come up from the cocoon and call the issues as they see it, rather than they call the issue as they think. And of course, we all are aware of the fact, say, remember they talk about the brown envelope mentality, all the brown envelopes and all that thing. We been get a guy like the guy we been get that powerful station, which I name I forget about that almost became an idol. Everybody everybody go listen to. And suddenly, what we saw, he metamorphosed into politics. So, I mean, the great statesman, the third president of the United States, first Secretary of State, Thomas Jefferson, he said he would prefer for live in a country where not get government at all not. But the citizen, they get the right to talk. This now the thing that we stand up. Because without free speech or freedom of the talk of journalism the talk of democracy becomes totally meaningless. The free operation of the press, although it comes with a caveat, you have to be very responsible. Now, an integral part of the democratic process. Now, in the bulwark of democracy, now in the underlying democracy. But where do we get? Like, go start this conversation earlier on. I talked to what happen. The party and the leaders now they don't come take that they not sit down at the center in the political firmament of the nation. So they ask yourself, say, well, where that place when they call SALONE? You know they at all. SALONE no they waiting there, solid green or solid red, or this leader or that leader they. But the country, these are the collective nightmare, this freedom you. This discussion here, it focused on Mrs. Bio. Remember that the discussion, the fundamental question we ask, has Mrs. Bio engaged in any financial wrongdoings or misappropriation and all that? This this will focus on it on one. If we say yes, do we have the cornucopia of evidence where go back this argument? Yes, we get some. Then where do we go with the evidence? Because the thing though, we all desire for see an egalitarian and just society. First, we go give impetus to what we go do na Lancaster House, 1960. What tell them which man say we say we go able to govern we all affair. So now I made it okay. April 27, when I begin dance on ourselves now, we cannot do all things. So the question is, we don't actually live up to ordinance. These are the things that if we get for remember the funds in SALONE, not to Mrs. Biogeta, not to Mr. Biogeta, not to Anes Baiko, it belongs to the Commonwealth, and the Commonwealth get that. So if we come with evidence, if we get evidence, you know what? There have been corruption here. Now we as citizens, the country as a whole, now praise her for deal with them regardless of who that are the person. We for deal with them. We not forget a situation where we get secret counsel. I not believe in that. Or to move away from that mentality. So we deal with the issues as we see it as here. Not to from a speculative point of view, not to from kind of some propagandistic hysteria, from the facts. So waiting me go, I will end this talk here again by saying this. There have been a great mistake on the part of the people within our state house, SALONE, where they not try for regulate the office of the first lady in such a way that it will rhyme with reality, it go there within the constraints of it. Because remember, the office of the first lady everywhere, an extension of the executive branch of government. Therefore, go just do things out of the blue. There has to be guidelines there. For example, me and and me know where you say in the army, nobody goes with physical cash anywhere. You know that they go with cash. They go with something where go today tomorrow they go able account for that. Records, we get for left this cash culture. We really get for move away from that. Say we go you go to the accountant general to Minister of Finance. I need it there you 10,000. No. You give it in check. We go add a column so that this way we start accounting for things. That accountability. I know we're not holding people there because when they give you in add a column, then the chance for letting convert into use is very very difficult. So. Wait me go advise me distinguished colleagues there because they're doing very well. Although yes, they argue from different, but they're doing very well. Wait me want invite them for long, all come together. let we offer solutions. They not begin to solutions of how for the entire. Yeah, today is Mrs. Bio. Tomorrow it will be Mrs. Johnson. The other day, how long do we have to go through this? So me go really appeal to the calculus of me to what are they under. So when okay, we don't talk all the problem now. We don't talk. Here's real solution I want to come up with. Once we get evidence, let's take this evidence come on court. Because at the end of the day, not to the court of public opinion. Now the court of law, now there we go litigate this. Then if you're guilty of this, how they call them, then the law will take in course. That's one. And number two, let we begin to so then at the benefit of we they oversee, we they look at the good things that when they happen, then we extrapolate them. They will send them back to our court to say, we have this one, that's one. We not say they give money to anybody. We need so that tomorrow the accountant general and the auditor general, all you need for do is check that they go find out if you be user on users personal identity. So now that me go say it don't be because this person is coming to you, this person they come up with you. So we wait there for let we be very honest with yourself. Let we make sure so we not take no sides. The only side they take the side of SALONE. Who side SALONE now they work for the. So now this time good for SALONE, now this good for SALONE. So now that will be my own recommendation.
Okay.
That law begin them send solution to them people they did because they're not seen for nothing. The office of the first lady get staff. The first lady cannot even be involved in every now and then. It to the press. They talk to them. So they let you press people they talk to. Let they talk to them. Let they talk to them. They chief for staff out the corner. Yeah, you did. I will not see the first ladies and I no more. They talk to the press every now. No. I mean they get the officers. So let we begin look for solutions. What we say to people they under for let them help with. So now me on that contribution
let we take call at them, then let we try for round up. Maybe we go get these two fine gentlemen for come again. Let we continue the conversation because Chernor is gonna release some more stuff, more evidence as he say against the for backup what he in claim the way they make. So let we go to call at them. Caller, good evening, name please. Who side they call from? Yes, caller, good evening, name please. Who side they call from? The call today they are more. Our calls today are not working. If we call, they're not a work. I think the person don't be the time. Okay, we're not to get called today. Something is not right. Hello, caller. Good evening. What's in your name? Who side they call from? Caller, good evening, name please, and who side they call from? Start up on the calls today because it's not coming through. But let we get a quick that interview the way they go. Let we go. I don't send you Usai for Q next. Let we just listen to then we give you opinion and then everybody get last word we go because today a Super Bowl day. Everybody get for go to his family. Tomorrow is Monday. And we go invite them two gentlemen back come. Let them come and I go try forget Mr. Chernor because he don't agree. Say he go can't we but when he put other stuff them out. So let we listen to Mr. Technical team back there. Let we go from 45 minutes now. Let we start from the 45 minutes thing. Let we hear waiting Mr. Bob in the talk on the side of the single treasury account. Then we go come out there now, we'll end up there and then we give you the last word. Yes, go ahead, please. Go with the tape. Caller there, we saw it today. We're not able to take on a call. You know, like you said, the devil is a liar. But una voice matter. We thank you also much though. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for sharing. We will join the conversation again. But let me listen to this quick. Which start from 50 minutes of that same 45 minutes. 45 minutes from that same thing there. Dated phone. How did it happen? Okay,
yeah, well, one of
queued up? But now we're going to talk first. Now we're going to talk. What is the name? While they work on that,
That's a very important question, and I believe say even with Parliament don't invite the Minister of Finance. From what I read from the papers and what I see on videos, and the bank governor for going to Parliament and provide answer for this question, because according to them, in all these 3 years within the approved budget, when they talk about the budgetary estimates, putting they agree with the approve from the government use, there was no line in the budgetary estimate for anything like office of the First Lady. So for me, when I begin to see, I can raise the questions and say whether this government prudent with reducing waste and all of this. I just take the government in promises and try to see if exactly what they promise and they do. I begin watch, and one area where I watch in a public expenditure, the management of public finance, and then I can find out say, in fact, for example, the wage bill don't increase, government spending don't increase. And one way we then do one, that because the president passed what we call Executive Order 1, if you remember, in April, the Executive Order 1 we talk say, now, therefore implement a single treasury account. The single treasury account, that will make sure say, all the money for then one government account. That one way for control, make minister then other institutions don't spend money fitty-fatta, frivolously. So in real economic sense, that will make really good sense, because then it means when the money on the one side, any one loan with the commodity, the government will know, the Minister of Finance will know how they spend it. The Financial Secretary will know how they spend it. The Accountant General will know how they spend it. So they will control expenditure. They don't give money to anybody they don't want to give, because they don't control all the account, one account. So what did we find out now? Now investigate how this one account almost day inside it. And basically whether this money, when they don't centralize, so really they use the money correct way. So as part of my investigation, and I can find out say, oh, in fact this single account now, it don't allow the people there for spend money way we say the people that the country know, and not even everybody inside government knows how they spend the money, because now waiting and tell the people themselves say that this number 9 days inside, 9 people will believe. That this number we don't spend, 9 people will believe. So in my investigation now, I can find out say, oh, they don't spend more money, they take money for travel, 50 fat when they travel out of the country. They not only go out of the country, they go with loads of money. You don't understand? They withdraw money, then 30,000, 50,000, 100,000, 400,000. They send a per diem. And I can find out say so that makes sense, because this current president will get don't travel past almost any president who don't get in this short time. So the question, why they travel? I can find out say, oh, for every trip where they go, they must take 50, 100, 200,000. You don't understand? They go to.
Yes.
And that money no they return. The money no they return at the country. So then I can say, oh, okay, this centralization of government account don't make the president get direct access to the treasury, and they take the money go, nobody know, including even people everything in government. So then I begin looking at how this money they come out through travel, through like what you talk about, the overhead expenditure for give money to a wife for running your own activities, we're not a part of the budgetary plan, not a part of the money where Parliament approve. So then I can find out say in the wife of the president get an account with the central bank, you get an account with the local commercial bank, we're in a government account then, and at the government they put money, other NGOs they put money. So a lot of information there, in fact, about how these people run the country, will not even we just begin to sample the evidence people see. So basically,
my question is, if we say we run a central account, a central deposit,
we shall forward small and give like two minutes. Then we do so for today. We don't do enough.
For me, looking at the conduct of the government, if there was no money, how did they travel, all this continuous traveling? Why the First Lady, they spend all these kind of activities, they claim they don't receive money, the EU money they use. I said, no, this cannot be true. So I decided to look at behind the curtains. What are these people doing? How are they conducting the management of public finance? And then I uncovered these methods of stealing. We are very advanced methods of stealing. And what it makes it so disturbing and so difficult for Squire, now the fact that this at the same time where these people they talk about fighting corruption, okay, chasing people who don't supposedly thief money. Then they do that one, the public they follow them with that kind of noise while they loot the country in this kind of fashion. So this is why you find out that at the beginning, for over 2 years, almost 3 years now, the First Lady, for example, not ever admit to the fact, say, they received government money because they knew it was illegal and it was a hidden operation. That's where they hide that. Now only when the evidence of it, the material, the tangible evidence that cannot be contested, cannot be denied, come out, we publish it. And if you watch, not to the first time this world don't begin signal, say the First Lady they get money. Way back on March 15, we published an article what we call Concealing Fiscal Costs. Okay, concealing fiscal costs, basically hiding public expenditure. We say the single treasury account where the government created for help for minimize waste. Now they use them as an opportunity for cover the ongoing theft of public money. We don't signal this, and we publish the first letter where the office of the president, they show the Minister of Finance writing to the office of the First Lady for say they don't give 3.1 billion, 3,111 million to the First Lady for support the two-day launching ceremony of the Hands of Our Girls campaign on the 13th to the 14th and 15th of December 2018. So basically, there are several layers to this where people need to understand. One, that the office not is supposed to receive first public money, government money from the consolidated fund. The First Lady, when we bring this thing out, they say yes, he tried to justify and say, we expect them to get money, but she had denied that before. Why don't you admit? Then he tried to justify, say, he used the money reasonably. In the first place, you don't have no right, no legal authority for him to hold 1 leon of the country money in that fashion. Now, whether you use them correctly or not, that's a different conversation. And then we check how you use the money where you say you use, where you spend. You don't spend them back accordingly because the laws of the country, they will show how you use government money. For example, if I go buy furniture now you hand, I know they just go no more say, Matilda is my friend, now my business associate, so I go just go buy. That's not how you do government. You do open tender, you advertise and people then bid and compete. And you independently weigh the possibly most qualified, both in terms of track record, quality of delivery, and how you call it, the effectiveness of the cost. Okay, for make sure say government not buy one chair 2 times the amount of them for buy. But in the case of the First Lady, when you look at the transactions of the office of the First Lady, you find out that they bought furniture alone in August 3 times, in September 3 times. So in 2018 alone, the money for furniture go up to 600 million. You don't understand, and stuff like that. Then when you calculate that again, you see them buy the same amount of furniture or more in 2019, in 2020. How can you be buying furniture for the same office? Now with the area discussion, now say now 1 chair and 1 table and 1 sofa, landing at the office of the First Lady. But if you check that one day again, it's not consistent with the amount of money we then claims and spend with. So
okay. The interview is long. There are many accusations inside the interview, and it laying points them so much. When I can go on VOS, when I go watch them and when I cut and base, Mr. Fode Morris, waiting, Mr. Bad on talk, Mr. Chernor. don't accuse with First Lady and the government and all that stuff. As an opposition, and una day na opposition, una the biggest opposition, the wife of the president in new administration, because I know so you've been there inside there. Did she have a budget, or it been gets that way and call it on a catch? They not be catch. I mean, say they do the same thing, or no? Because I just want to know from fear to everybody, because Mrs. Bill say the first lady then gets account, and every first lady we know before inside salon, according to in one of the audio that we make, they go to the man them, or they get from their own office. So you know, no side and they pull them money, they ask them, but you, as an insider to the APC, what you get to say about all what you do, so and all that stuff.
Yes, very good question. If I say all what I say, I think we'll go there for the rest of the night, the evening.
Well, make a short for.
I won't do that. I'm going to make it very
back
short.
Another day.
Yes, another day. First of all, once again, I want to take the opportunity for tell Chernor by plenty take here on behalf of the people of Salone. You see, I get one favorite quote to collect for use, where one professor Anes Ben use come up with. He say, politics is the art of looking for trouble, finding it whether it exists or not, diagnosing it incorrectly, and applying the wrong remedy. Having said that, let's focus on the role some of us they play, specifically with two they represent with two political parties, Mr. Ali and myself. You see, after every time when new government come, we get shifting roles the way we play, whether we're partisan or not. But I'm talking about those of us that are partisan, openly partisan, that are APC for life, and I believe Mr. Ali also. We shift, and we have different reaction. For example, the APC comes back to power in 2023, and a bunch of people, we have a new president, a new APC president, a bunch of people are appointed to key position, and I am not. I'll be one of the loudest. So the new president will know, me for the moment, I'll be work hard, or I'll be the first for the party of the opposition. Me say, waiting on the give me, waiting on me bless you, waiting on me benefit. Because of their selfish interest here, some of us can put ourselves in positions then we're not concerned too patriotic, because we're thinking selfishly about ourselves. To have Mr. Ali here defending what is clear, what is placed is in black and white. Bank statements, for example, where furniture is purchased today, tomorrow, next tomorrow, where hundreds of thousands of dollars are withdrawn cash. An authentic bank statement to discount all of that and insult the whistleblower. I think Mr. Chernor, I think it's unfortunate. Those who have already been employed by President Bio, including the communications unit in at State House, led by Mr. Dr. P.K. Moana, the Minister of Information, who are responsible to defend and to talk about government issues and defend the government. They also have the Strategic Communications Unit in the Ministry of Information. Mr. Umar Fofana, to my surprise, interviewed all these people. They refuse. They refuse to come out and defend the issue surrounding the First Lady getting money from our government treasury, from the treasury of the country. They refuse to do that. But we have Mr. Ali here, who perhaps, as I may be in 2023, when APC comes to power, if they want to forget me, I'll be going around, going to all the shows. I will be the first. Ask Fatima, I'll be going on program. Ask Mr. Kutu, I'll be going on program. This is, I think, what Mr. Ali is doing. He has no defense, absolutely none. He has not defended none of the allegations made by Mr. Chernor. Each time he calls him names to distract the attention from the facts, from the numbers, from the authentic bank statements. And Mr. Chernor has promised to come up with more. So for me, these vicious cycles of defending today, opposing tomorrow, and when I'm eating, I shut my mouth. When my government is in power, I shut my mouth. The difference about me, APC was in office. For 11 years, I was the devil's advocate within the APC. I criticized even President Anes Kuma while I was in Sierra Leone. I criticized everything. I went on national TV, I went on national radio, and defended it. We are seeing now a fellow citizen, a respectable fellow citizen, placed in a very tight spot. He left here recently, went to Sierra Leone, I think for about 3 or 6 months. We saw him sending videos. Now he's back, hoping to go back soon, to defend the indefendable, coming here defending the indefensible. Those that are paid to defend, to do their work in communications will not do it at State House. At the Ministry of Information have not done it. Because each time the First Lady will say some things that will contradict what she said 2 years ago or yesterday. So for me, I think we're a laughing stock. Finally, I think we're a laughing stock around Africa, around the world. I mean, we Sierra Leoneans, my main point again, we elected a president who has a record. I mean, all of us, maybe as APC, we did not fight either for Maada Bio not to become the president. As SLPP, they have all those people with clean records. We elected a man who President Chidabaka called a thief. He emptied the national treasury. Dr. Samuel Kamwa said he stole 18 million. Charles Francis Magai said same thing along the same line. Alpha Side will engage in months and months and years of a crusade to warn in SLPP not to elect this man. If today we're discussing his wife, who happens to be our First Lady, and she's taking funds from our consolidated fund, and she's been denying that over and over and over again, we have ourselves to blame. Our democracy is not working. President Bio now, as flag bearer aspirant, killed people. He killed SLPP supporters. He made violence a reality within the SLPP. He beat up his own SLPP people just so he could be imposed as the SLPP flag bearer. If we are not going back to look at the history that has made the present so annoying, so real but annoying.
No, that's a very strong accusation of murder, but I mean that's for another day here. I mean we never back what they say with evidence here. But Mr. Ali, you know Chernor, and there are many more, and people are saying I will try for Q another one, I will try for listen for Q another, one way will take we out for today where not going to a judgment, because this is about Sierra Leone. This is about how for every money that is not spent the right way, picking the day where they die. There was a little girl a couple of months ago who died because they don't get gas, not generator. Okay, they don't get gas. So in mama get for cry every day with an empty bed, empty crib where not get in picking day. There are schools that have gone because of corruption, schools that we don't go down the drain, the education system, one of the opportunity to picking them for what they call, that's what corruption does. So the mission here in Sierra Leone, I wonder we all know that. It is not about who the whistleblower is, it is not about which party, which tribe, it is about what they affect we the people of Sierra Leone. And we all get the view, we all get the opinion, we all defend for that we believe and trust. But the evidence now and the burden of proof now, Mr. Shillong will correct me because he's a learned attorney here, learned attorney in the United States, a defense attorney for that matter. The burden lies on the Maada Bio government, the President Bio government right now. And Mr. Ali, I want to give you last word and what you know, Mr. Shillong, not Mr. Shillong, but Mr. Morris and Mr. Ba don't talk na audio where he lay in case, like I say, the evidences, it don't lay in case. Now the burden of proof is on our president and the president's office and the first lady and all the people them and all the activities the way don't click, because that's a thing, and we cannot discredit reserve where we come out with waiting and call, challenge the truth, challenge the fact. Okay, you say you get this, the burden of proof, prove me wrong. That should be prove me wrong. That's how we for the go now. Say wow, because we all don't plant seed the inside we yes from different side of the aisle. But who do you believe na in the thing? Who do you believe? Because the mission here is Sierra Leone. So Mr. Ali, I mean you are, like I say, I so respect you and waiting and call. Go ahead, please, and address with people then one more time.
Sure, there's a lot there, Ms. Fatima, but I have to correct my the other guest here. You realize every time you present the issues, he tried to present me. This argument is not about Emmanuel Ali. This argument is not about my patriotism to my party or my country. This argument is not about my loyalty to my party or Mr. Morris speculating on why I have defended my party for as long as I can remember I could breathe. So I think just as an intellectual advice, next time you're on the show, focus on the issues and the facts, not on the personality or the other guest. I haven't done it to you. I think it's a little dishonest that you would do that, and I don't appreciate it. Focus on the argument and focus on the facts, and make your argument, and don't make it about me. My belief is my belief. But now let's go back to the Africanist and Chernor. Again, every time Chernor talk, I glad the way they talk, because every time they talk, I challenge smart intellectual Australians, which most of them are, for dissect what they say. Everything we say is contradicting to the fact. If they talk about waste reduction, this government don't reduce waste past any other government. That's why they keep getting grants. This government, if they talk about wage expenditure increases, I mean, everybody know why the expenditures went up. Because government increased minimum wage, government increased civil servants and pay, government increased workers and nurses and pay, teachers and pay, government increased retirees their emoluments. I mean, don't Chernor about the talk say they increase them and waste there. I mean, it talk about nobody no catch all the discrepancies and we don't talk about. Who saw the audit report day? Who saw the Auditor General day? I mean, now we all be they say, oh, people they say Auditor General did well. Now all of a sudden, Chernor now the Auditor General and the authority for the finances of the country. Now all of a sudden, Chernor is, I mean, it's obvious to the people of Sierra Leone. Talking of external travel, the inconvenience of a president and his family and the government's traveling from one time zone to the next, and just the tiredness on the body is enough for any president not travel. But for let we reclaim the image and the identity of our nation, the president had to physically be present in these various spaces, telling the people that the narratives of Sierra Leone, it's not about, the narrative of Sierra Leone is not about war, it's not about Ebola, it's not about corruption. I mean, the reality is we have dawned a new day, and people are going to hate, and people are going to want chaos. And finally, Ms. Fatima, I think you got it wrong when you said the burden is on the accused. Mr. Shillon will correct you. The burden is on the accuser. The burden of proof is on the one who accuses, not the person who is accused. The accused doesn't have the burden to defend themselves. The accused doesn't have the burden to present evidence of their innocence. The accused does not under any form of law. Mr. Schiller would correct that. I think, again, you're a very smart lady. I think you just misspoke. But let me get that. So the burden is not on the government. The burden is on Mr. Barr. It's on everybody else who is picking on stuff that they don't know what they're talking about. It's creating stuff that doesn't exist. But let me make my final closing statement. Lord. If this was it, I just had to respond to your other guest for deviating from the facts and focusing on Emmanuel Ali. Emmanuel Ali is, in my own right, I think I have done well in my life, and I do not need anyone to justify my existence or my own survival. but I think I can rely on my convictions and my principles and my belief in my government. And I think I've been decent enough when I come on this show and respect the other guests, not when they are talking for other people to be making sly statements. We don't do that in civilized society. So let's not do that today. But let me just say to the people of Sierra Leone, by the way, let me just say to the people of Sierra Leone, continue to be engaged citizens. Examine the facts. Not take the lies where propagandists they can sell to you. Just because you're here on social media, just because you're here on this, examine the facts. As you can see, all of the arguments we've made tonight, I have debunked every lie that Chernor has told. And I challenge him to come on this show and debate me. Right? You see, your co-guest is being disrespectful. That's APC. I wouldn't do that to him. That's not what intellectuals do. That's not what intelligent people do when they're on a public show. But let me continue, if I may. No, the people of Sierra Leone should be engaged. And let me finish by thanking Ms. Fatima, Mr. Shillon, Mr. Kutubu, the people in the background of this show. You do a great deal of service by allowing us to have these conversations and debunk the lies from the facts. I leave it to the people of Sierra Leone to believe what they believe is true and believe what they believe is not true. Emmanuel Ali stands on his convictions. I say these things not for political gains. I would love to serve my country, but that's not why I defend the First Lady, the President, and this government. I believe if we miss the opportunity of this government and this moment, after 40, 50 years of squandered opportunities by APC, in fact, instead of making progress, they regressed us, they dug holes. And we were starting from scratch in 2018. I hope Sierra Leoneans will realize the importance of this moment to support and embrace the new direction as the only way out, the only way forward, and the only means to which the people of Sierra Leone are empowered. I rest my case.
That means, Madam Fatima, okay. This is not fair, but I'll wait for the next time.
My thing, okay, I'll give you 1 minute. 1 minute.
He had his chance. He gave his closing statement. He had his chance.
Mr. Ali, sometimes we give.
I'll let him have the last word. By the way, when I was laughing, I wasn't being disrespectful. I just admire really the courage you have to
Why you don't do everything. That when somebody else is talking? You
can't teach me. I'm not your child. You can't teach me what to do. I can smile. Okay. I could be thinking about something else outside of the show. I can smile if I want to. You can't tell me I should be frowning because you're all tensed up and working hard to get the attention you deserve from your SLPP government back home. You can't tell me what to do. I was not being disrespectful.
There you go again.
I just admire the courage that you put up to come here and refute everything Chernor has said.
It's all a bunch of lies.
You don't even give any credibility. I see, now you're disturbing me again. You see, you're interrupting me again.
Because you had the show. You had your last say. You had your last say. You just attacked the show again.
Okay, I rest. Host, thank you very much for having me. I rest my case for now.
Again, we will continue this conversation. I promise the gentlemen will give me their word. I'll talk to them on the side. We have to have this conversation because more evidence is coming. And this time we go cue them all. This guy have said a lot. This guy, Mr. Ba, has said a lot. And I call him the whistleblower. I call him the whistleblower because he don't blow a whistle. Let we go inside and examine everyone. And everybody get them passion for which side they are on. But as a Sierra Leonean, everybody for be concerned, say, wait a minute here. Let's look at the evidence. And I stand corrected where I say the evidence is on the defendant. No, the evidence, now the person will carry the case, I get for prove the evidence. Yeah, I know that, and I stand corrected. Thank you so much for that. Sometimes, you can talk waiting and call, and whatever they call it, Floridian sleep or whatever it is. But anyway, yeah. So, but it is us, the people of Sierra Leone. Now, we get for examine the evidence before we. Mr. Chernor don't put up. Mr. Emmanuel don't defend the side. Mr. Fode Morris don't talk inside. But as a Sierra Leonean, as a conscience, a person with conscience, a person with common sense, it is us that have to go and break it
layer by layer, peel everything and find out what is it that is going on, because we want to know the truth. We want for make, and we expect we government for come to we and speak. And I would say thank you to the two people that came out on each side for come out, and Mr. Emmanuel get the courage for stand up, because I hear now other group than today whether they come at him and in many ways, but he stand up to what he believes. Say he believe. That's a man I would respect him for that. I might not agree with everything, but I respect him for encourage and steadfastness. And to you too, Mr. Forde Morris, I know you since we were little kids, and I so thank you, because I know say you were one of the voices of APC in the past administration, and you should don't give you points. So I get me two co-hosts, then we sit on as referee where they try for bring the balance, then Seth get their own team where they want to say. Mr. Shillon, you don't silent for a while. And I want to let you give the people them your last word or your opinion or what you for take from this today word on this.
Well, from me, your perspective, I'm a proud Sierra Leonean, and in the interest of the country, without having any interest one way or the other, because in previous broadcast, I don't express my opinion about these two dominant political parties in Sierra Leone. I'd even gone at one time and said, and this is ironically when President Bio and Stresser then being in power, I was one of the most ardent supporter of them when they overthrew the Momo government, because I was all in favor of their recklessness and short-sightedness. In fact, when people were saying they were too young and this kind of thing, I say, well, if those guys were, if they're gonna be doctor, if they're gonna be lawyer, if they're gonna be professor, and so if they're gonna be engineer at the age when they overthrow Momo government, nobody will be criticizing them for being too young and not getting the wisdom, or for saying, oh, they're so smart. I say I looked at them with the same eyes. So I had the utmost respect for them then. My point here is, to me it's easy, but we all get different way of dissecting interest or something we'll see. Some people will look at something from one perspective and see it one way. Reminded me, for those of you who are seeing me on this show, I once saw an actor who say, in Papa always can tell away small, say the whole world look at things this way, he holding glasses. He said, but my father says he sees the world this way. Okay, so in Papa they turn the glasses the other way. So the point I'm making here is, we all don't have to look at things and see the same thing, but we for endeavor, because at the end of the day, we are talking about the country, okay? And we will be able to call the shots as we see them. I am hoping and praying that we will sum up the courage from time to time, regardless. And the two gentlemen are very devoted to them parties. But I always say, I was APC when it wasn't cool to join APC. I was APC when APC started in Bo, when it was dangerous to join APC. I was APC when APC started the Kalam district of Barbara Chiefdom, when we be the APC membership. I will never say I'm a party supporter for life, because you are dealing with people. And when you're dealing with people, everybody go into the NTN for different and get different motivation. I always use the APC as an example, because I APC me know. When Abraham Chaki, Dr. Fona, and all those young people then come, they were idealistic. Pashaki get his own idea. He used these young guys, brought them in. I'm just telling you people from experience. And in the end, when it take a cause where they oppose, they lost their life. So for those of you guys who have all this extraordinary passion for political party, where not you get a control over, where you to deal with another person whose mind you don't know how it works. I just say, tread carefully. That's all I have to say. But I appreciate the fervor with which everybody they take their own side, whether it's motivated by love or whether it's motivated by concern. But for some of us, having been gone for Australia for so long, I only have passion because I think we can do better. And I'm disappointed that we continue for just spin we wheel. But not only that, sometimes when the wheel turns, we tend to go backward. We have not gone forward, not an inch. So having said that, I say thank you very much, folks. Hope we'll meet again and then we'll discuss further. You are muted. You are muted.
To my honorary Professor Kutubu, you know, what in your last word. Forgive with people them and for the guests them way day today and what in your last word for the stock, yes, sir.
Well, first, I tell you, I really enjoy the collegiate battle of the brains between the two brothers. I really enjoy them. We hope so we'll get people that in type, then they could come. I really let the passion. Then God bless you two. They all two get vision. They all two want to see better salon. The only thing they you know go at a different angle, but I must tell you, they all two are very sincere and genuine people. Them. Let God continue for putting blessing for them. And let God make let them continue for they can help we for sure we can light. The issue today now, Mrs. Bill, the hope is waiting not happen. So now, then go the people then, we especially the people that within a state house, and go sit down, they take a real look at this and try properly restructure the office of the First Lady for let it understand say, in as much as an extension of the presidency, but there are also, guidelines, there are also things, then we people them, especially with finance ministry, because whatever happened at but more so the parliament, all this talk we talk today, we not bring the parliament inside say the parliament now they get a supervisory role now. The parliament where guys like Charles the secondant, that the great French jurist, where the other man in England, John Locke, when they put government together, then decide say parliament then will be number 1, executive number 2, and judiciary number 3. That's so. But looking at things, it appears that Salo say the executive 9 are number 1, and this is a big problem for any nation. Naya, if na be Mr. Trump then been in charge of government, Naya they call her, it would have gone nowhere. But God and Sarah they said, no, Mr. Trump, you will not be. We get the parliament where they go. You will be answerable to the parliament. Now that help America because you answerable to the parliament now. Waiting we will sit down now for begin advocate now. No advocate, let the parliament step up to the constitutional responsibility. Let them exercise checks and balances. Let them begin to hold people accountable. Let them, they hold investigations, inquiries. Let them know what say. As soon as parliament don't get any other job where they do, only 2 jobs. You investigate and you can hold parallel investigations. You can do them. Even as the anti-corruption commission, they do them. That post, the attorney general, they do. Una can do now. Una don't know. Make what they call criminal refer. Una refer if una see any criminal conduct now. But for that, we get a parliament is also complicit. They say anything. This is very troubling. And like I said, Mr. Ba, as a citizen, he get the right for also talk about infractions of principles when they are among the country. Now, in right, Mr. Ba is not doing anything when Mr. Senor they do. If they do it on daily basis, past Mr. Ba. But every day I'm on it, 7 days a week. Because we all want to see a better SALONE, want to see an egalitarian and just society, all will be able to play with your role. So again, I want to thank we distinguished colleagues that we come. And Madam Fatima, I must commend you, say, the way you handle the debate, let God continue for make let you be with leader now. Because I don't know if Kutubu before able before don't show they through that guidance down. But again, like I said, I enjoy the thing. Mr. Morris, thank you again very much. Let God bless you. Mr. Ali, thank you very much. And of course, Mio Agba, because I'm a Brazilian and Mio Agba and
impatience alone. Now it really motivate me. See, they sit down quietly. They say the man a real lawyer. He sit down, he listen. Then what he do, he pick up from yonder, then he talk. Let God bless his team here. So this is the 8th team this time. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, me people them. I want to say thank you to Una. And one more time, I say thanks to me guests them we come for Congress, me invitation for Kala who can talk on the issue. And I apologize again to Una because we're not able for answer on a phone call that we were having so much technical difficulty today. But like I can always say, this is the voice of Sierra Leone and everybody in voice matter, no matter waiting. We don't see Mr. Shilon don't give an example. I get another one where I've been get intention for use where say the teacher give a ball, one side is black, one side is white, and he put them in the middle, he put them to the students them. He say, what do you see? Then they say, I see white. Then they say, I see black. Then they argue and everything. Then the professor say, exchange places. Where then go to the other side, you see within the person be they see, and no say the person not be wrong when I wait see they see and how they see and so they interpret. So I mean there is a case against allegation we don't drop, and we expect like how they say parliaments don't call the financial institutions them for can answer. We accept say nobody is above the law here. If somebody don't do wrong, if Mrs. Beo has done anything wrong, we want for see say it is punishable or whatever the consequences get for come out, because wrong is wrong, and wrong no matter what, no matter the things that made you get the wrong, then they go make a lenient sentence for on the sentencing where they go to the sentencing phase like Mr. Shilon says, psychological and all that kind of stuff. Then can look then think that they why the person do what he do, but it can be no, it can be deliberately, we don't know. But according to Chernor, it say if we don't give the update, if we don't give the warning, so we dey watch for see waiting with parliaments go do, we dey watch for see waiting the office of the ACC boss Mr. Ben Kelfala they do, because now in your job we see the swift approach the way it take on other cases, but right now it say it tie down. So until it tie down first per auditing, with the hope say, because now one of the gentlemen and then they I believe say he is very kind of want for see corruption end, but it get for do for all sides, because because people then go talk and they talk on social media say they know they do their job, then they drag their foot where it come per this administration because now they hire them. These are all the things say their institution they therefore be independent of the executive branch, because we want see Salone go before President Biosel to we say Salone for go before, and we all they say Pauper Salone must go before. It must go before with the right way, not to the direction of that the circle where they go 360 degrees. We go for go 190 to left or right, to the right side. We pray to God we go that side there, because Salone we deserve better. We country people deserve better. We deserve better. We have been fortunate to be in this part of the world, but we care. We care about we people. We care about we country. We want to go back to we country. We want to let we begin and go eat dirty. Children are dying because of corruption. Children have been left behind. Villages, we see those roads. We see things. Where politicians take money, put her inside their pocket, we forgot to the development of the country. So we want to see the right thing done, and like how we say, we wait for the let them come out, and if we talk, let them can tell we how they say or waiting at their own reason, and let the case go before, because this is a big case, this is a big talk, and we get for no waiting get for come up behind and find out the truth on either side, whatever I fall, Salone go move forward, because we get for go. But like I say again, go beyond beautiful, go make a difference, go just so Lord, just give a light to somebody, have a blessed and productively. Let God bless we all. Let God keep we from this dunya yagbawa depends on this coronavirus. Let preserve with people and with family. Let God bless we country. Let God bless the one the way they lead we country. Let them give them wisdom for let them able know the right things for do we're good for the people. Till next week, if you see the shine by me, not jealous me. Go walk on yourself tomorrow. The sun go there by you. The cloud over me. So till next week, I will left now with the voice again of Mr. Chernor on the interview. I don't know if they don't cue them for me. I say let them start from 2 hours 10 minutes. If they don't cue them, I just want left una in the words again of tales. So waiting you think, waiting are your own decision. Search your conscience, search your souls, and say the right thing and be on the side of right and the side of history. So till next week, I love you all, and remember, God is love. Fatima, I'm out. Good night. A salute.